And audio. That should be it. That should be it. There we go. Finally. There we go. Audio's on, and okay, now we're going green. We are 13 laps in. I have missed everything because I've been trying to fix the audio, and I don't know why. I have not been on my computer for a week because I was out of town, and so I guess my audio, something broke while I was gone, or it didn't break, but it just, a preset got deleted, and I had to redo the preset. But here we are live for the NASCAR Cup Series race. The Federated Auto Parts 400 at Richmond, and it's 14 laps complete of 400 today, and it's Ross Chastain out front by half a second over pole center Kyle Larson, then Denny Hamlin in third, William Byron fourth, Brad Keselowski up to fifth place after starting in eighth, and then Truex, Blaney, Logano, Bowman, and Custer round out your top 10. Stage 1 is 70 laps. And we've already had one caution early on for Tyler Reddick going around. No damage to that car, but Tyler Reddick went around. He started a bit farther back in the pack and just made some contact going aggressive early in the race. But the groove is widening out here early on. It looks like it's really hot here today. A lot of different racing than in the spring because this track's a lot hotter. So the tire wear is going to be different. Going to allow for different opportunities, different grooves to open up. Tire wear is going to be really intense today. That's going to be something to keep track of, is how many sets of tires do you have in the pits today. Appreciate everybody tuning in, guys. Make sure you take a moment to drop a like and subscribe if you enjoy what you're seeing, and vote on the poll in the chat. But meanwhile, Chastain continues to lead over Kyle Larson. Chastain got the jump on Larson on the initial race restart and has not relinquished that lead since. But right now, the battle for the cut line. Today, it came in. Truex was 19 points behind Ryan Blaney, and as they run nose to tail. Truex just ahead of Blaney in 6th place. The highest possible winner, though, that could be a threat at getting their first win of the season is Brad Keselowski. Is up in 5th place right now. Brad Keselowski started in 8th and is up to 5th. Could Keselowski sneak his way into a win here at Richmond? I think a lot of people had Keselowski circling Daytona for his only shot at winning this year for the rest of the season. But here he is running well at Richmond. Meanwhile, Bubba Wallace is going to try to continue his hot streak of 4 straight top 10s. He's running in 13th place right now. Bubba Wallace on the hottest stretch of his career. Now Blaney's making a move to the inside of Truex for 6th place. Going through turns 3 and 4, Truex is going to be able to put the power down on the high side, but not without almost losing control of it there for a second. That car really snapped as he tried to throttle up. I'll try to catch up on the chat when I can, guys. But appreciate everybody tuning in. But it's Chastain out front. He's growing that lead now to over a second over Kyle Larson. But then in 5th place is Keselowski, but right now in 6th, Truex versus Blaney, and Blaney's giving a little of a bump there to the back of the 19. Just behind him is Joey Logano, so Truex has 2 Penske cars right on his bumper. Meanwhile, Cindric, who had a poor run in qualifying, has worked his way up from 30th all the way up to, where is he running right now? He's worked his way up from 30th up to 26th. So Cindric struggling a bit today here early on, but still a lot of racing ahead. And Truex has gotten passed by Blaney, and now Logano's trying to pass Truex on the outside as they come off turn 4. And this is crazy, guys. The groove has widened out so much here. I don't know why it's different, but I mean, especially in 3 and 4, I mean, there are guys all the way up almost against the wall. I never thought there would be a day when you would have guys running the wall at Richmond Raceway. But that is the fastest line around the racetrack right now, at least for Christopher Bell, who's working his way forward. He's all the way up to 11th place, and he's doing it by making passes while running all the way up against the outside wall. And Truex is continuing to fade backwards on this run. Logano's gotten by him, and now Bowman's going by Truex. Truex has dropped now back to 9th place. But it's Chastain still out front, and then Larson, Hamlin, Byron, and Keselowski, your top 5. If you guys are wondering where your favorite driver's running, if he's not running on that top half of the leaderboard, just ask me and I'll check in on you for you. I'll check in for you. And now the screen is frozen, and so is the audio. Wow, this is just not the day. Is the audio working? We're checking the audio. Wow, we have not had these type of problems in a minute, but I guess things can't stay perfect forever. I think we'll be able to fix the webcam here in just a second. But meanwhile, now Truex under pressure from Cole Custer for 9th place, and Truex is continuing to fade. He's about to drop outside of the top 10, but Bell is really working in that high side, and Bell is literally running up against the fence. We have never seen guys being able to run that groove at Richmond, but I guess with the next-gen car and it being abnormally hot at the track today, it is just widening out the groove that much. There we go. I think we might have the webcam here fixed now in just a second. Oh, now I think we've got an issue with the camera. I don't even know right now, guys. I'm trying to fix it while I talk. Addy, you're wondering where Harvick's running right now. Kevin Harvick, after winning last weekend in Richmond, is currently running down in 20th. He just got passed by Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott's working his way forward after starting 23rd. He's up to 18th place. We're going to mute the stream here for just a moment and try to fix the webcam. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay, so there we got the audio fixed. So it seems like everything should be working now. So that's good. You're at Michigan, Addy? How you doing, Eric? Also, guys, I appreciate it, guys. We got 2,000 subscribers last weekend, so thanks to everybody that subscribed and helped make that possible. But yeah, currently under commercial break for the first time today. It's Ross Chastain out front, and Denny Hamlin has now gotten by Kyle Larson. Hamlin's up to 2nd place. Kyle Larson started on pole today, but Kyle Larson typically has had short run speed at this racetrack, but just has never been able to quite figure it out on the long run. So I don't really expect Kyle Larson to be a threat at the end of this race unless we get a string of cautions to finish this. But Chase Elliott, after starting down in 23rd, is really starting to pick up some pace now on the long run. He's up to 16th place, running some of the fastest laps on the racetrack. Right now, Denny Hamlin, let's see if he can catch up and chew into Ross Chastain's lead right now. Ross Chastain currently up by 2.5 seconds. What's up, Tony? How are you doing? You know, guys, we just got home in time to be alive for the start of this race, but yet we got live, and then we had all the mechanical gremlins possible on this stream. We lost audio, we lost the camera, we lost basically, I had to redo all the presets for this stream, and I was able to do it in just under 10 minutes. So I'll take that as an accomplishment, I guess. Currently, though, Ty Gibbs in his 4th career start in the NASCAR Cup Series, still filling in for the injured Kurt Busch, still running inside the top 15, having a good solid run in 14th place, right where he started today. Brad Keselowski also trying to move forward. He's trying to fight William Byron for 4th place right now, and it looks like he's got that past end done. Keselowski's up to 4th. But Kyle Busch, after starting all the way back in 29th, is another driver moving forward. He's all the way up to 18th place, and he's looking for 17th on Chris Buescher. So Kyle Busch has already made up 11 spots today, and he's going for 12, only 36 laps in. Richmond, one of the shortest tracks on the schedule, only 3.25 of a mile long. And Kyle Busch is able to clear the 17 car coming off turn 4. He's able to slide up down that curved front straightaway. But so far today, the big development is that the groove is really wide, guys. If you can think of Richmond, there are 2 sets of dotted lines in the corners, and there are guys that are able to run up above that second set of dotted lines. And I mean, that is basically a couple feet from the outside wall, and that is one of the fastest lines on the track. You would almost never think that that groove all the way up the racetrack would be the fastest line on the racetrack. Meanwhile, Keselowski's closing in on Kyle Larson for third place. Keselowski has really brought the heat today. Like I was saying earlier, a lot of people thought Keselowski's only shot at winning in this regular season was going to be at Daytona, but here he is, and he has brought a good package today at Richmond. Just hopefully he's got to hope that car isn't legal again. Looking at the chat again. Tinkering on the race car today, Tony. You're playing Fall Guys 1 Mile Cup Series. What do I think about Noah moving to the Cup Series? I think, honestly, Noah Gragson, the 42 car is probably the best fit for Noah Gragson. I feel like if he went to one of the bigger teams like RCR or Hendrick, he'd just tear up a bunch of equipment, most likely, and like drive in a bit over his head, where I feel like the 42 car is a bit of a midfield car, and he can kind of prove himself in that car, with a couple of good solid top 10 runs. Like, the bar is very low for him in that car. Ty Dillon's currently 28th in regular season points, so he basically just has to do better than that next year for, I feel like, it to be considered a win. And he brings a lot of, sponsorship and all that. He's carrying over a lot of the same sponsors to that 42 that were on it this year. So I feel like that was a pretty likely scenario for him to end up in that car before silly season really even began this year. Chastain, though, still out front by just over 2 seconds over Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin really not making up much ground on your leader, Ross Chastain. Kyle Larson continues to fade in third place and is under pressure from Brad Keselowski right now. And your leaders are starting to catch the tail end of the field. So lap traffic will probably start to become a factor here pretty early. But only 28 laps to go here in Stage 1 already. Stage 1 already past halfway done. It's flying by. These laps are less than a half a minute long. It's only about 24, 25-second laps here at Richmond. And one guy has to get worried about going a lap down here early is Tyler Reddick, running back in 33rd. After having that spin early on, he has not recovered well. Tyler Reddick might be going a lap down here early in Stage 1. And right now, Martin Truex Jr. is trying to hang on in 9th place, just 3 spots behind his rival, Ryan Blaney, for that last spot below the cut line. Cole Custer, though, currently hangs on to last possible stage points in 10th place. Christopher Bell, though, is catching up to him. And Chastain, though, is starting to lose some ground to Denny Hamlin. Now, I'm not sure if that's because he's working lap traffic. I feel like the guys he's trying to pass right now probably aren't going to fight him too hard. But last time by, Denny Hamlin made up 0.2 of a second on our leader. And last time by, he made up another 1/10 of a second. And I think, yeah, once your leader does start to get into some lap traffic right now, Ross Chastain trying to put Tyler Reddick a lap down, and Tyler Reddick is not just going to let him go by. Going a lap down here early in Stage 1 is basically just going to end your day. It's going to make your day a long day, that's for sure. But 25 to go in Stage 1. Currently your top 5 still Chastain, Hamlin, Larson, Keselowski, Byron. Last time by, the gap between Chastain and Hamlin stays just about even. Do I have Facebook or Twitter, Eric? I do have Facebook. I think it's down under Jack Freeman. Pretty simple, yeah. If you want it. Do I like Brad? Yeah, I would say I like Brad. I feel like Keselowski. I'd say Keselowski, yeah. I'd say there aren't really any drivers that I don't like in the Cup Series. I know some people really despise certain drivers. I really wouldn't say there are any drivers I don't like. I feel like I like everybody, and then I just like some drivers a bit more. Chastain's starting to grow that lead out just a bit more over Hamlin, so maybe Chastain was getting held up by a couple lapped cars, and now he's gotten by him, and that's what's allowing him to grow that lead over Hamlin again. But yeah, Tyler Reddick has now gone a lap down, so that is tough. Tyler Reddick going a lap down here early, and now Corey LaJoie, who's the car ahead of him, has also gone a lap down, so Yeah, your leader's probably going to lap all the way up towards about the 20th car on the lead lap if we go green to the end of this stage. So Tyler Reddick will be stuck way back in the pack behind a lot of lapped cars in stage 2. He's gone 2 for 2 in that paint scheme so far this season, but it doesn't look like he's going to go 3 for 3, at least here early. 20 to go, though, now in stage 1. But Chastain has, I believe, led just about every lap so far. Kyle Larson led lap 1, but Chastain has led all 50 laps since. 50 laps complete here. Still 350 laps left in this race. But the first eighth of this race complete. Already flying by. Also, Cole Custer's gotten by Martin Truex Jr. Martin Truex now is just trying to hold on to that final stage point in 10th place. Right now, he's poised to lose 5 points to Ryan Blaney on the cut line in just this stage alone, so that is not what he wanted coming into today. This is one of Martin Truex's best tracks. Today was pretty much the only day this year, in the last 3 races where he was going to have a good day of pointing his way in past Ryan Blaney, but now it looks like Blaney's beating him on his own turf. In 11th place is Bell, then Briscoe, then Elliott has worked his way all the way up to 13th place, so maybe if Chase Elliott has a strong enough charge, he might be able to crack the stage points before the end of stage 1 here. Also, Keselowski was making up some ground on Kyle Larson in that run, but it looks like things have swung back around to Kyle Larson's way as we go longer into this run. Last time by, Kyle Larson ran the fastest lap on the racetrack just about, so... And now Landon Castle's got a lap down. The next car for your leader to put a lap down is Michael McDowell. Appreciate everybody who's tuning in, though, guys. If you want to drop a like and subscribe, I appreciate it. They've gotten already 1 new subscriber today, guys. We're up to 2022. We just hit 2,000 subscribers last Sunday. I think if we could hit 3,000 subscribers by the end of the NASCAR Cup Series season, that would be a pretty sweet, pretty sweet goal to achieve. So we're trying to get 3,000 by the end of the season. Also, if you haven't voted in the poll already for the chat, go ahead and do that. Currently, what's the... there is no poll in the chat right now. I did not realize I wasn't able to put that up. We'll have a poll in the chat for stage 2. But the one thing is every time you get an opportunity to pit, you are going to be coming down and taking 4 tires. Tire wear is a big deal here today. Lap times have already fallen off over a second here early on. And like I was saying, uncharacteristic to Richmond, the groove is really wide today, and you're able to run just about up towards the fence. And we have seen some guys make some contact with the fence, including Kyle Busch, who actually made pretty significant contact going into turn 3. But now less than 15 laps to go here in stage 1 after we've cut back from that commercial break. Chastain is just trying to hold on for 14 more laps to collect that playoff point and 10 regular season points. There's still quite the battle for 2nd through 5th place in the regular season standings between Chastain, Blaney, Larson, and Martin Truex Jr. For the last 8 races, Kyle Busch has failed to finish inside the top 10, the worst stretch of his career, and currently today at Richmond still running outside the top 10, so Kyle Busch is really trying to turn things around, especially right now when he's vying for a contract with other teams. He's got to have some stuff to prove himself on other than the past events he's done back in the old days. He's got to show that he can still do it here and now. Also, now Michael McDowell has gone a lap down. Austin Dillon, the next car on the lead lap to go a lap down, just ahead of him, Justin Haley and Todd Gilliland. But these lapped cars are slowing down Ross Chastain. Denny Hamlin has cut that lead down to almost a 1.5 seconds. They'll be coming to 10 to go in stage 1 next time by. Appreciate everybody tuning in, guys. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe. We got 50 people watching right now. I appreciate it. We got 50 people watching. We only got 10 likes, guys. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe. And Kevin Harvick's trying to get under Kyle Busch. Going into turn 3, Kevin Harvick going to be able to slide up, though, off turn 4 and clear Kyle Busch. Kevin Harvick moving forward now. That's for 17th place. Both those guys probably not running as high up in the field as they would have wanted, but they still got a lot of racing ahead of him. Yeah, we got 50 people watching, guys. Can we get up to 25 likes? I would appreciate it. Addy, would I rather have Ryan Blaney or Martin Truex Jr.? Honestly, I feel like I'd rather have Martin Truex than Ryan Blaney. I feel like Truex is getting towards the end of his career, and I feel like he's a bit more... I mean, honestly, I feel like Truex and Blaney are very similar drivers, pretty patient. Like, very methodical and very consistent. But Chastain's still kind of losing that lead to Denny Hamlin. Chastain really having to work through some heavy lap traffic right now. Also, Chase Elliott's worked his way up to 12th place. He's gotten by Christopher Bell. He might be able to crack the stage points before the end of this stage. He's trying to get by Chase Briscoe in 11th right now. Justin Haley and Austin Dillon have gone a lap down now with 8 to go in the stage. Now you have Todd Gilliland, Harrison Burton, and Austin Cindric trying to stay on the lead lap here before the end of the stage. Appreciate everybody tuning in, though. Addy, you're rooting for Blaney? Okay, I got you, Eric. Coming to 5 to go here in stage 1 as Chase Elliott tries to chase down Chase Briscoe. That's a lot of chases, dare I say it. That's the battle for 11th place, but even if Elliott's able to get by Briscoe with 5 to go in the stage, the next car up the road is Truex, who's 2 seconds ahead, so he'd have to make up quite a bit of ground to catch up to Martin Truex Jr. before the end of the stage. But up front, Hamlin now only 1 second behind Ross Chastain. Hamlin is slowly eating into the lead of Ross Chastain, and he might be able to catch him with 5 to go in the stage. Elliott, meanwhile, to the inside of Briscoe off turn 4. It's a drag race down the front straightaway. Briscoe has it at the line by maybe an inch, but as they come down into turn 1, Elliott's going to try and drive it in on the inside. Briscoe's going to roll the high side. Briscoe will have that momentum off corner exit. He's just able to stay on the corner panel of the 9 down the back straightaway. Now as they go into turn 3, Briscoe's going to run a bit of a higher line up the track, and Elliott should be able to slide up and clear the 14. Yes, he will. Elliott's up to 11th. Meanwhile, Joey Logano trying to go around his teammate Ryan Blaney. Blaney's boxed in behind the lapped car of Corey LaJoie. And at the front, the lead now down to almost just half a second. Battles going on all over the place with 4 to go in stage 1, 3 to go in stage 1, and the gap's down to just half a second. Chastain versus Hamlin. Luckily for Ross Chastain, there aren't many lapped cars near him to slow him down, but Hamlin might be able to get there. But meanwhile, the 2 Penske teammates, Logano and Blaney, still battling side by side off turn 2. Blaney might be able to clear the 22 just quite. Yes, he will. So Blaney's able to throw the block on his teammate Logano, and he should be able to hold off that spot for now. 2 to go in the stage. The gap's just half a second from first to second place. Then you have Kyle Larson in third, Keselowski and Byron rounding out your top 5. 2 to go, 2 to go. Just ahead of him, Todd Gilliland trying to stay ahead of Ross Chastain so he can stay on the lead lap here in stage 1. It looks like he should be able to do that as the white flag's out in stage 1. Ross Chastain just trying to hang on over Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin made up a 1/10.5 on our leader last time by. The gap is down to 0.4 of a second. Hamlin's just about 2 car lengths behind. Is he going to try and dive it in on the final turn? Oh, and Hamlin sideways off turn 2, and that might just save Ross Chastain. Hamlin went for it all off turn 2. Got pretty sideways there when he put the throttle down, and that's going to allow Ross Chastain to just escape from Denny Hamlin there. And Ross Chastain picks up his 5th stage win of the season, gets that playoff point. Hamlin second, Larson third, Keselowski and Byron round out your top 5. Then Blaney, Logano, Bowman, Custer, and Martin Truex Jr. catches on to that final stage point. But meanwhile, in terms of the cut line, the gap has risen from Truex and Blaney. So Blaney came into this race 19 points ahead of Truex, and now it's 25 points ahead of Truex. 24 points ahead of Truex, so he's able to finish 5 spots ahead of him in stage 1. Appreciate everybody tuning in, guys. We got about 65 people watching. Make sure you guys drop a like and subscribe. And everybody is going to come down pit road here and take 4 tires once we get to it, because the tire fall off is big here at Richmond, especially in the hot weather they're having today. We're going to have a poll for the chat, though. Who gets into the playoffs, Blaney or Truex? That is the current playoff cut line battle. And it's Blaney versus Truex. Everybody else is too far out to point their way in. The only way in anybody else has is to win a race at Richmond, Watkins Glen, or Daytona. Appreciate it if you guys take a moment to drop a like and subscribe. Though currently, though, we're up to we got another new subscriber, guys. We're up to 23 guys. I appreciate it. We got 2,000 subscribers last Sunday. The goal is to get 3,000 by the end of the NASCAR season. So let's make it happen, ladies and gents. Right now in the poll, it's split 50-50 between Blaney and Truex. Who you guys think is going to make it into the playoffs? But after just stage one, my thoughts after stage one, Chastain looked fast, but Hamlin was really charging late on in that run. So I think Hamlin, who won here in the spring, is definitely going to be somebody to beat. But the final stage, I think, definitely is still going to be really all about strategy. That's what we saw earlier in the spring. It was a strategy race. You had guys closing on fresh tires, and they just caught the guys on old tires with less than 5 laps to go in that race. So a big strategy call won the race for some guys in the spring. I think it could be the same thing here in the, well, I guess late summer. And now everybody's coming down pit road to get 4 tires and fuel. And you don't want to make a mistake here on pit road, send you to the back of the field. It's hard to pass here at Richmond. And the race off of pit road, it looks like Chastain's still going to be able to hold off Hamlin, and then Larson will jump up to second place, and so Larson will pass Hamlin, and Blaney jumps up to 4th place. Byron loses a spot, then it's Logano, Truex, Elliott, Keselowski. Keselowski loses quite a few spots there on pit road. Bowman also losing quite a few spots there on pit road. Appreciate everybody tuning in, guys. We got over 50 people watching here early. Tony, you like Chastain? He reminds you of Earnhardt. I don't know. I feel like he does push everybody the wrong way, but the difference is Chastain. It's like he tries to apologize for the things he does, but it almost makes it worse. Because he apologizes and then just goes out and does the same thing again. So it's really just don't apologize at all, or I don't know. It's very contradictory. I don't know. Contradictory. There we go. Appreciate the subscription, Fast2571. Now we're up to 2026. So 2026 subscribers. Appreciate it, guys. Got 5 new subscribers today. Appreciate it. Make sure you guys drop a like as well. Michelle Johnson, you're rooting for Truex? I don't know. I really think it's going to be close. I feel like it could all come down to just one mistake. If either one of those guys crashes out or, takes themselves out with a penalty and sacrifices a lot of points to the other, I mean, that's just going to give a big advantage to one of them. I mean, Truex cannot afford to make any mistakes. Currently, he's 24 points below Blaney right now, so Truex cannot afford to make any mistakes. Because if it goes, I'd say, up to over 30 points going into Watkins Glen, he's going to basically need a miracle to catch up 30 points in 2 races. Because Blaney is strong at Watkins Glen, and he won last year at Daytona. So, yeah, Truex is, I feel like, kind of in the hole here. Because Truex has struggled on road courses all year. And at Daytona, I mean, he swept the stages earlier in the year in the 500. But historically, Truex really not the best plate racer. Up to 20 likes, guys. I appreciate it. Can we get up to 25? Got 50 people watching. Can we get 25 likes? Eric, you are the 300th subs. You've been here a while. Been here since back in the day. Yes, Tony, that was Michael Waltrip Racing back in, I think 2013 or 2012? Michelle Johnson, Thank you for the live stream. Don't. You're welcome, Michelle. You're right, Blaney has picked up quite a few stage points and stage wins. He just needs that race win to lock himself into the playoffs. But if somebody wants to give a super chat, appreciate it as well. Support the channel with some monetization. Just unlocked super chats a week ago, so I appreciate it if you gave a super chat last week as well. So now your running order after that first set of pit stops. Some guys gained ground, some guys lost ground. Now it's Chastain, Larson, Hamlin, Haley with the wait. I think that's got to be incorrect. There's no way Haley's up in fourth. Okay, there we go. It fixed itself. Okay. But it's Haley and Blaney in fourth, Byron fifth, Logano, Truex, Elliott. Elliott picked up a couple spots on pit road. Then Keselowski, Almirola rounding out your top 10. Then Custer, Briscoe, Harvick, Gibbs, Stenhouse, Busch, Busher, Cendric, Jones, and then Alex Bowman in 20th. So Alex Bowman lost about 10 spots on pit road. Not a good performance there for that 48 team. Then Ty Dillon, Bell, Burton, Wallace. Wallace also had a bad pit stop. Then you had Gilliland, Suarez, Gregson, and then Justin Haley was the free pass. So you got 28 cars on the lead lap right now. And they're coming to get the green flag here in stage 2. Larson on the outside, Chastain on the inside, then Hamlin on the inside of row 2 with Blaney to his outside. And Larson's going to spin the tires just a bit on the outside. That's going to allow Chastain to get a good jump. And Hamlin might also be able to clear Larson as they go down into turn 1. And Hamlin's really giving the bump to the back of the 1. And Hamlin's up the track, and he's going to get into the left rear corner panel of the 5. The 5's just able to hang on to it. That was close. Logano's going to sneak through, though, into second place. Wow, that was a big moment there for Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson there on that restart, but Hamlin's going to fall back to the third car on the outside. He's back in 5th place, and they're 3 wide between Custer, Keselowski, and Elliott down the front straightaway. Some crazy action here on this restart. Keselowski on the low line, Elliott in the middle, and Custer up top. They're still 3 wide as they go through turn 1. Custer trying to make that momentum on the outside work. And Elliott's going to have to back out of that in the middle of 3 wide. He's going to drop back to just in 10th place. Now Logano's looking for the lead. He's trying to get to the outside of Chastain down the front straightaway. Logano's trying to go to the lead. Chastain and Logano side by side as they go into turn 1. Logano on the outside. Logano's got the momentum off the high side as they go down the back straightaway. Joey Logano's trying to edge out into the lead. Joey Logano's out front for a moment down the back straightaway. As they go through turn 3 and 4, Logano's going to have the momentum off corner exit. And Joey Logano is your new leader at Richmond. Now it's Chastain in 2nd, Kyle Larson 3rd, Truex, Hamlin rounding out your top 5. But how about that? Joey Logano makes quite the restart, capitalizes on somebody else's mistake, and now Joey Logano is your leader at Richmond. Now Kyle Larson trying to eye up Ross Chastain for 2nd place. Man, Ross Chastain looked untouchable in stage 1, but now here early on in stage 2, losing the lead and now under pressure for 2nd place from Kyle Larson. Meanwhile, that mistake that Hamlin made kind of checked up the field, and now there's about a 2nd gap from 3rd place to 4th place, and Hamlin's looking to take 4th place back from his teammate Martin Truex Jr., and he's going to be able to do it as they come off turn 4. And once again, Truex running just in front of his bubble opponent, Ryan Blaney. And Kyle Larson trying to go to the outside of Ross Chastain in turn 1 and 2. Larson's got the momentum off the high side. Not going to be able to quite clear him down the back straightaway. He should be able to get it done, though, in turns 3 and 4. Yes, he will. Kyle Larson's up to 2nd place. Ross Chastain's going to tuck in 3rd. Now Hamlin's going to set his eyes on Ross Chastain. But it's Logano out front. Kyle Larson's up to 2nd place. Kyle Larson, does he have anything for Joey Logano here in stage 2? Stage 2, a lot longer than stage 1. Stage 1 was only 70 laps. Stage 2 is 160 laps. So you are going to have to make a pit stop at some point during stage 2, whether it's under green or under yellow. And Byron is trying to get away around Keselowski. And he's just gotten by his teammate Chase Elliott. Byron up to 9th place, though. And Cole Custer's got smoke coming out of the pipes. Cole Custer has got smoke coming out of the pipes in 7th place. Is Cole Custer blowing up? No, that'd be a tough break for Cole Custer. He's having a good run here today. He's been inside the top 10 all day, but he's got blue smoke going out the side exhaust pipes, and I think Cole Custer might be done for the day. That blue smoke is not a good sign. Meanwhile, Ryan Blaney's gotten by Martin Truex Jr. Blaney's up to 5th place, Truex back to 6th, and it looks like Blaney just has the measure of Martin Truex Jr. today. But meanwhile, Cole Custer's still out there on track, so I don't know. Maybe there's just something weird burning off inside the engine and it was putting out a bit of smoke. But either way, it looks like he's okay for now. And Hamlin's going to the outside of Ross Chastain in turn 1 and 2. He drives it in real deep. And he's going to get him probably off corner exit. Denny Hamlin's up to 3rd place, and Ross Chastain is fading here in stage 2. I don't know if he made an adjustment that hurt the car, or maybe they didn't make an adjustment. Everybody else was just able to improve their cars under that stage break. But Chastain's car is faded here early on. But meanwhile, Logano has been able to grow his lead over Kyle Larson to 2nd now, and then it's a 2nd from Larson to Hamlin in 3rd place. Meanwhile, Austin Dillon holds on to that free spot pass right now just over his teammate Tyler Reddick. RCR struggling today, though, already going a lap down. Both their cars lap down in stage 1. Oh, boy. And Custer has now lost a spot to Keselowski and Elliott trying to go by him. And oh, boy, Cole Custer has lost power steering, and it does look like that car is still smoking a bit, so Cole Custer has lost power steering, and that's going to be a long day without power steering around Richmond. He's going to get a big muscle workout having to work his way around this track with no power steering. Still over 300 laps left in this one. Yeah, Custer's got some smoke coming out the back end, and he's losing pace right now. Still not really sure what the problem is on that 41 car, and it really looks like the smoke pours out under braking. Yeah, it looks like the smoke's coming from the hood. Still not quite sure what that smoke is. It could just be some sort of residue burning off. Either way, he still seems to be able to make like good lap time. He's still running inside the top 10. Keep you updated, though, on this Cole Custer problem. Meanwhile, Joey Logano continues to lead out front. And Ross Chastain's now under pressure from Ryan Blaney for 4th place. Chastain just continues to fade on this run. But a driver having a solid run today is Brad Keselowski in 7th place. He's been in the top 10 all day so far. Keselowski needs a win to get into the playoffs, so 7th place isn't going to cut it. But if they're able to maybe pull a bold strategy or get a lucky caution, they might just be in the mix late. And now Blaney's going to give a tap to the back of the 1 car off turn 2, and Blaney's now going to make a move to the inside of Chastain down the back straightaway into turn 3. Blaney's underneath Chastain off turn 4. Down the front straightaway, it's a drag race. Chastain's going to win for now. But as they go into turn 1, Blaney's still got the inside line on Ross Chastain. Ross Chastain's just trying to hold on right now. His car is going in the wrong direction here. And Blaney is looking like he just might be able to clear Chastain this time off turn 4. Yes, he will. Ryan Blaney's up to 4th place. Ross Chastain's going to drop back to 5th. The next car in line to catch Chastain is Martin Truex Jr. Right now, Logano just trying to hold his own out front, trying to grow his lead over Kyle Larson, but I think Logano's more worried about Denny Hamlin than he is Kyle Larson. Denny Hamlin trying to make up some ground on the leader last time by Denny Hamlin and Joey Logano ran even lap times, and both of them were about a 10th faster than Kyle Larson in 2nd place. So Kyle Larson definitely has more of a short-run car than a long-run car, but I'd say Larson still probably is a top 5 car overall. We appreciate everybody tuning in, guys. Make sure you take a moment to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. We're up to 27 subscribers, guys. I appreciate it. Where it's Logano, Larson, Hamlin, Blaney, Chastain, Truex, Elliott, Keselowski, Almirola, Custer, your top 10. Elliott's gotten by Keselowski for 7th place. And now they're going to cut to commercial break, but I'll continue to bring you the action. Then just outside your top 10, it's Harvick, Byron, Buescher, Briscoe, Ty Gibbs in 15th. Then Busch, Dillon, Stenhouse, Wallace, Cindric, your top 20. Then Bell, Jones, Suarez, Bowman, Haley, Gilliland, Burton, and Gregson, all your cars still on the lead lap. Then Austin Dillon's your first car, 1 lap down, just ahead of his teammate Tyler Reddick. Okay, there we go. Just had to take a quick step away there. Also, guys, the poll in chat, who gets into the playoffs, Blaney or Truex? 70% of you guys say Martin Truex Jr., only 30% say Ryan Blaney. I'm going to have to agree with the minority on this one. I feel like the tracks left really line up with Ryan Blaney's strengths this season rather than Martin Truex Jr. So unless Truex, pulls something out of his hat at Daytona, I think Ryan Blaney gets into the playoffs and Truex just misses out. Kenneth, you're rooting for Chase. Right now, Chase started back in 23rd today, but has slowly worked his way forward. Now he's up to 7th place, so he's going in the right direction. Mark, you're pulling for Kyle Busch today. Well, Kyle Busch starting in 29th. He's moved up a bit, but he's still kind of struggling. He just was getting into it with Ty Gibbs a little bit. Right now, Kyle Busch running down in 17th place, I believe, right now. He's even gotten into the wall a little bit today, but not too, didn't really damage the car very much. I know, appreciate it, Eric. Up to 25 likes, guys. I appreciate it. Can we get up to 30 likes? Appreciate it. We got about 60 people watching right now. But out front, it's Logano, who has actually lost a bit of his lead to Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson's made that gap down go under a second. Now it's down to 0.7 of a second. So Kyle Larson maybe has made some adjustments on that car to make it a bit more of a long-run car as he's slowly reeling in Joey Logano. Also, Ross Chastain has seemed to stop the leading just a bit. He's dropped from 1st to 5th place, but it looks like he's been in 5th place now for about 15 laps, so looks like he's settled in there. Meanwhile, Keselowski and Almirola going at it for 8th place right now. Eric Almirola announced he was going to retire earlier this season, but since then has changed his mind, it appears. Still not confirmed who's going to be in the 10 car next year or the 41. But Almirola trying to have a solid top 10 result today, just to have his teammate Kevin Harvick, who was able to get the win last week at Michigan. Meanwhile, Kyle Busch and Ty Gibbs going at it for 16th place. The guys battling for the 18 off-track are now battling for it on-track, it seems. And it looks like down the back straightaway, Ty Gibbs might be able to have the run on Kyle Busch using that high side, and he's going to be able to hold on to that 16th spot for now. But guys, only 40 laps just about complete here in Stage 2. Still got 120 to go. Stage 2 is long. The final stage is 100 and, I believe, I'm trying to do the math real quick, 170 laps. So Stage 2 and Stage 3 just about equal. And it looks like they'll be splitting the stage either into thirds with 2 pit stops or into halves with 1 stop. We'll have to see which strategy works out. In the spring, it was the 2-stop strategy was the one that worked out. The 1-stop, not so much. But even then, both strategies ended up being pretty equal at the finish. Truex now catching up to Ross Chastain for 5th place, so maybe my comment about Chastain stopping the bleeding was a bit premature. But out front, Logano and Larson pretty much swapping lap times right now, pretty even for out front for now. But there's a big tire fall off right now, guys. These guys go from averaging about 115 miles per hour to down to about 105 miles per hour later in the run, so about a 10 mile per hour fall off. And now Gibbs is past Kyle Busch once again. Kyle Busch is trying to get by Ty Gibbs, but Ty Gibbs is doing a great job at defending here. Currently, Kevin Harvick holds on to that last spot inside the top 10. Just behind him is Chris Buescher. Right now, the RFK cars are running pretty strong today, both of them running inside the top 11. It seems like they figured out their short track passage. And Eric Almirola is going to the outside of Keselowski down the back straightaway. The 10 cars got the run as they go into turn 3. The 10 car on the outside, the 6 on the low side. And Almirola is going to just not quite clear Keselowski. No, yes, he will. Almirola is clear of Keselowski, and now he's up to 8th place. He sets his eyes on Chase Elliott. Yeah, and just away up the road, you got Chastain, who's starting to back up a couple cars behind him. Chastain's got Truex and Elliott right on his bumper. Meanwhile, out front, Logano's starting to grow that lead over Kyle Larson, but the guy that's turning on the Jets right now is Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin's really catching your top 2 right now. That's what we saw in stage 1 as well. Denny Hamlin on the long run was the car to beat. But it's still very much lap to lap, whether or not you have some lap traffic in your way or something that holds you up. Right now, your last car on the lead lap is Harrison Burton in 28th, and he's only about 2 seconds up the road from your leader. And Kyle Busch might have even touched the outside wall there just a bit going down the front straightaway. He is definitely getting frustrated as he's battling Ty Gibbs right now. Kyle Busch trying to get by Ty Gibbs on the outside of 3 and 4 right now. Also, Michael Jordan at the track today. Michael Jordan he shows up to, I'd say, about 1 every 3 races or 1 every 4 races. He's got the Jordan brand on the 45 car today, so that's probably one of the reasons why he's showing up. That's the second time the Jordan brand's been on the 45. The other time they won at Kansas, maybe Ty Gibbs will pull off some Michael Jordan magic and win today at Richmond. I'd say that's a pretty tall order right now, but who knows? Still very early in the going, just over a quarter of the way in. Appreciate everybody tuning in, though, right now, guys. We got 75 people watching. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe. If you enjoy what you're seeing, make sure you vote in the chat on the poll. Who makes the playoffs, Ryan Blaney or Martin Truex Jr.? And Kyle Busch is still battling Ty Gibbs as we see Kyle Busch using the high side and Ty Gibbs down low. And it looks like Kyle Busch is just about clear of him as they go down the front straightaway this time. 2 car lengths clear. Out front, though, Logano still leads over Kyle Larson by just over a second. Then Denny Hamlin a half second back off Kyle Larson. And they're going to cut to commercial break once again. Then it's Chastain, Truex, and Elliott at the bat, and Eric Almirola got the battle for 5th through 8th place, heating up. You got 4 cars within about a second of each other, less than a second of each other. And Keselowski's continuing to drop back a bit here on this run. Kevin Harvick now catching up to the driver of the 6th car. And Harrison Burton's about to go a lap down right now, though. Only 2 cars, 1 lap down. Austin Dillon and Tyler Reddick. Your leaders have put quite a few guys now 2 laps down. And if Austin Dillon and Tyler Reddick go 2 laps down here in stage 2, their days are pretty much done for. But I think RCR did not bring a good short track package this year. That is what it is apparent. Lucky for them, only Bristol and Martinsville only got 2 short tracks in the playoffs this year, but still, you're probably going to want to improve that package a bit before then if you want Tyler Reddick to go far in the playoffs this year. Tony Lucky, you'd be pretty honored to run with such a historical figure in the sport. Oh, I know, that would be pretty... I feel like, yeah, driving for Ty Gibbs today definitely has some pressure on him. He's, filling in for Kurt Busch, still one of his first starts, but he's got Michael Jordan at the track, and he's got Michael Jordan's brand on the car. It's only the second time this has happened. So, yeah, I feel like the pressure's definitely on, especially with all the debates over who's going to get that 18 car, if it's going to be him or Kyle Busch, or battling a past champion of the sport. Mason, you think Ryan Blaney's going to get the playoffs? Martin, yeah, Ross Chastain's in the playoffs. Yeah, he's got 2 wins. Tyler, Bubba's own crew told him to shut up. Well, sometimes Bubba gets a bit too emotional in the cockpit, I feel like. Appreciate everybody tuning in, though, guys. Still, it's a pretty even vote in the chat. Only about 60% of you guys say Truex, 40% say Blaney on that last playoff spot. Also, we're up to 30 likes, guys. I appreciate it. Can we get up to 40? But meanwhile, guys, next weekend, I'll be at Watkins Glen on Sunday. Not sure about Saturday yet, so I will not be live for the race on Sunday, but if I'm home, I'll be commentating the race on Saturday. But it's Logano. Larson's now 2 seconds behind your leader, and he is under pressure from Denny Hamlin as they are working very heavy lap traffic. Kyle Larson going to be in the middle of 3 wide, it looks like. He's getting held up by Todd Gilliland and Corey LaJoie. Kyle Larson splitting in the middle of 3 wide right now. He's going by these lapped cars. And Joey Logano's going to duck into pit from the lead. Logano pits from the lead, and it looks like pit stops have started. Green flag pit stops have started. Bell's also into pit. Logano, Castle, Harrison Burton. Larson's going to lead that lap over Hamlin. But yeah, now Chastain, Truex, Harvick. The undercut is big here at Richmond. Tire fall off is so big. If you come 1 lap earlier, you might be able to beat out the guy behind you by a second. But also, a lot of pit road penalties can be made here on this narrow, winding pit road. You don't want to be caught speeding or with a loose wheel here. We've seen quite a few penalties this year. And a green flag penalty will kill you here at Richmond. You'll lose at least a lap under that second pit road stop. Definitely will hurt your chances of winning. And now Larson's into pit this time, as well as Hamlin, Elliott, Keselowski. Everybody's into pit. Blaney stays out, and he cycles to the lead. Then it's Briscoe, Wallace, Byron, Stenhouse, a couple of the guys that haven't pitted yet. But everybody and their mother is coming to pit road this time. Now Blaney's into pit road now. Only about 10 cars are still yet to make their pit stop, and Kyle Larson and Hamlin are side by side off pit road exit. Who's going to give? We'll have to see who comes out on top of that battle. Custer, Stenhouse, Haley, Gilliland, and Gregson, your 5 cars that are still yet to pit, but everybody else has made their stops. It's Custer, Stenhouse, Gilliland, and Gregson now. And it's Logano who's cycling up into that next spot. We'll have to see how far Logano is ahead of Larson and Hamlin. It looks like Larson was able to just beat Hamlin off pit road. But look at that. Logano came 1 lap ahead of Kyle Larson and Denny Hamlin, and he's going to come out of pit road. It looks like 4 seconds ahead of them. So he gained 2 seconds on pit road on Larson and Hamlin. Wow. And now Gillen's in the pits. Only 3 cars are yet to make their pit stop, Custer and Stenhouse. And Custer's coming this time, so Stenhouse and Gregson, your only 2 guys that are yet to make their pit stop. So Stenhouse, Gregson, yeah, those are the only 2 guys that are still making their pit stop. But it's Logano, Larson, Hamlin, Chastain, Truex, Blaney. Those guys have already had their service done. So it looks like if Stenhouse hasn't made his pit stop already, then Stenhouse is looking to split stage 2 in half. All these guys that are pitting now, they're going to come again in about 60 more laps. Whereas Stenhouse will just try to split the stage in half. We'll have to see how that strategy works out for him. Looks like Gregson's also on that same strategy as Stenhouse. And now Truex is able to jump Blaney under pit stops, but it looks like Blaney's going to battle back on the inside as they go off into turn 1. They go by the 78 of B.J. McLeod, and Blaney's going to also pass Truex. And out front, Stenhouse continues to lead, but he's basically staying out of the way. His old tires are so much slower than everybody else who just pitted, but it is Stenhouse. We'll have to see if the strategy works out for him. In the spring, these strategies were pretty evenly matched. The 2-stop strategy ended up being superior, but they were pretty even. So we'll have to see if the 1-stop strategy ends up working out for Stenhouse. The only thing is, though, yeah, if you get stuck a lap down here, that really changes your race if a caution comes out. But yeah, the gap now from Logano to Larson, which is the real battle for the lead, is 4 seconds. So Logano was able to make up 2 seconds under pit stops. Appreciate everybody tuning in, though. Right now, we got 70 people watching. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe. We're up to 32 likes. And right now, we're at 29, guys. So almost to 30 subscribers. We've gained about 10 subscribers today. I appreciate it. And now Logano is going to pass Stenhouse for the lead. And Logano's just going to breeze right by Stenhouse. Those fresh tires are so much faster than Stenhouse's. I'm really interested to see how this strategy works out for Stenhouse. Him and Gregson, the only one trying to pull this off. It could end up working out for him big time, or it could end up biting him in the butt. Yeah, Larson 4 seconds behind your leader. He's got a couple of lapped cars between him and Logano. And now Harvick trying to go by Martin Truex Jr. for 9th place. Truex is going to lose that spot. So Truex is just struggling today. He's probably about a top 10 car, whereas Blaney, who he's battling, is about a top 5 car. So it's really crucial, that battle between those two guys. And right now Truex is just kind of trying to stop the bleeding. Behind Truex is Chase Elliott, who's just a couple tenths back. Yeah, Chase Elliott on the bumper of Truex this time as they go down the front straightaway. One mile Cup Series. Well, good luck with that. Good luck with that. Eric, I got you, Eric. I got you. I'll message you. I'll message you. Appreciate everybody tuning in. The guys already over 700 viewers on the day. I'll check your message later, Eric. I'll check your message later. Can't do it in the middle of the stream. And we're up to 20, 30 subscribers, guys. I appreciate it. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe. And if you wish to give a super chat, you can support the channel monetarily. I feel like that may not be the right term, but we're just saying it's the right term. I don't know. And that's good. That's good. 1 mile Cup. That's good. That's good. Yeah, under commercial break, quite a few commercial breaks today, I do have to say. Meanwhile, your field is starting to get pretty spread out. We do see that at Richmond pretty typically on the long run. The field starts to get spread out. It's Logano now out front by 4 seconds over Kyle Larson. Then it's 2 seconds from Larson to Hamlin. And then another 4 seconds from Hamlin to Chastain. Meanwhile, your leader has lapped Harrison Burton, Alex Bowman, Daniel Suarez, Cole Custer, Eric Jones. The next car he's looking to put a lap down is Ty Gibbs. So right now, Logano's setting a pretty fast pace, putting quite a few guys a lap down. Just ahead of now Eric Jones is lap down. Yeah, so Ty Gibbs, Byron, Cindric, Wallace just trying to hang on to the tail end of the lead lap here. Also, I'd be expecting Ricky Stenhouse Jr. or Noah Gragson to pit on their different strategy probably in about the next 10 to 20 laps. Now, just up the road from Logano, now that we come back from commercial break, about 10 car lengths ahead of Logano is Ty Gibbs and William Byron. We saw in the truck race a lot of long green flag runs. Only about 10 cars finished on the lead lap in that truck race, so I feel like we could see a similar thing today. Richmond, for just whatever reason, just does not end up bringing quite a lot of drama, at least in terms of cautions. Yeah, it's Logano, Larson, Hamlin. And as we compare lap times from your leaders last time by Logano, just a hair slower than Larson. But with a 4-second lead, Logano really can, be a bit more patient with these lapped cars. Be a bit more patient when he's having to be put in a difficult situation by a slower vehicle. But it's still early in this race, guys. We're not even halfway through things yet, so you don't want to be over-aggressive. Take yourself out with a dumb mistake. And also, Tyler Reddick's 2 laps down, so his day is going to be very difficult to bounce back from. Austin Dillon also 2 laps down. So yeah, RCR, just like I said, they are struggling. They're on the struggle bus today. Currently, though, Cole Custer holds the free pass spot over Eric Jones. Yeah, last time by Larson, a hair faster than Logano once again. Blaney's going to get by Stenhouse, but once again, those guys are on different strategies. But Almirola is having a quietly good run all of a sudden. He has slowly worked his way forward, and he's going to be up into 6th place right now. And behind him, Kevin Harvick, the closer. You know, one reason Kevin Harvick hasn't been as successful this in the modern era of NASCAR is because of these stages, guys. Kevin Harvick drives like an older style of racing. He slowly works on the car. They slowly improve throughout the day. That's why they're called the closer. They're not there early on, but they slowly close in. He just closes in on you all day, and then there he is at the end and pounces. And that's exactly how he won last weekend at Michigan. And once again today, in Stage 1, he ran outside the top 10 the entirety of Stage 1. Now in Stage 2, he's slowly inching his way forward. He's up to 7th place. But you know what? It's not going to be till that final stage where that 4-car might be running up inside the top 5 with your leaders. Once again, though, Larson just a bit faster, or just about even with Logano. My bad, but making up a little bit of ground on your leader. But yeah, Hamlin also making up a bit of ground on Logano. Logano's trying to put Ty Gibbs a lap down right now, but Ty Gibbs, you know, not just going to... I think Ty Gibbs is going to try and put up a bit of a fight here. He knows he can win here. He won here last year in the Xfinity Series. And Chase Elliott has caught Ross Chastain. Now this is the battle for 8th place. Elliott trying to get the outside of Chastain down the front straightaway. Chastain dominated Stage 1, but since then, that 1 car has kind of faded a bit. And now Elliott's looking for 8th place on the high side. Just ahead of him, though, Stenhouse is going to maybe work as a pick against Chase Elliott. Stenhouse on older tires, a different strategy than these two guys. He's going to clear high, though, in turns 3 and 4 and get out of the way and allow both of them to go by on the low side. But Elliott's going to get the 2-for-1 in one corner. He's going to get by both Chastain and Stenhouse. Now that moves Elliott up to 7th place. And Stenhouse is going to drop back to 9th place, but just behind him is Brad Keselowski and Chris Buescher. So both the RFK cars are running pretty well in 10th and 11th place. They figured something out there over at RFK on these short tracks, it seems. Addy, yes, we'll be live for Daytona, that's for sure. That is a can't-miss opportunity right there, guys. We are going to be live, and hopefully we'll have Braden with us, the guy from the Nashville stream. Bring a little bit more energy. I feel like that's a race that merits bringing a bit more energy, you know? You know, with all the possibilities that could happen in that plate race. Somebody locking their way into the playoffs in the final moment, at the final hour. Meanwhile, Logano's still losing a bit of his lead to Kyle Larson. That gap has gone down from 4 seconds to about 3.5. So Larson's slowly inching in on the leader. And meanwhile, Ty Gibbs has gone, or no, Ty Gibbs has actually made some passes and avoided going a lap down. Now Noah Gragson has lost some ground, and now he's a lap down. Austin Cindric, though, the last car, hanging on to the lead lap in 20th. But right now, it looks like Truex had that today marked as a must-win scenario for the playoffs. This was their day to win and lock themselves into the playoffs, but I mean, so far they have just not had the pace. They ran up in the top 5 early, but have since faded, currently running in 13th. He's just hoping he doesn't go a lap down in this stage. He's already more than half a lap behind the leader, and we're only halfway through this stage. He's hoping for a caution, probably. Also, Stenhouse and Gragson will probably be coming in to make their pit stop here pretty soon, I would be expecting. And it looks like Stenhouse is coming in this time. Oh, and he's going to make contact with the 19. He was not able to get it woed down enough. And Stenhouse and Truex are going to make contact. It looks like there's more damage to the 47 than the 19, but the 47 could not get it woed down. And he had to bail, and now the 19 ran into him. Is the 19 going to come to pit road to make sure he doesn't have any damage? I think the 19 should be okay. It looks like he hit that 19 more so right on the numbers. Didn't really hit him on... Oh, and it looks like... Does the left... Yeah, the left rear is going flat for the 19, it looks like now. Or at least according to the announcers. I think it's still up. But the 47 comes to pit road. That's really going to throw a wrench in that 47 strategy. I don't think it's going to work out for him now. After missing pit road, that'll definitely slow them down a bit. Now here they come into their pit stall, the 47. We'll have to see where they cycle out after this strategy. So they're just splitting the stage in half, whereas everybody else is splitting it into thirds. So your leaders, Logano, Larson, Hamlin, are going to have to pit again, where Stenhouse has made his final stop of the stage, as well as Noah Gragson. They're only the two guys on the strategy. Appreciate everybody tuning in, guys. And right now, in the poll for who makes the playoffs, Ryan Blaney or Martin Truex Jr., it is split dead even at 50-50. Also, appreciate everybody tuning in, guys. We got 80 people watching, only 34 likes, but the drama has just picked up in terms of the playoff cut line as Stenhouse came in to make his pit stop. He was coming in too hot and slid up the racetrack and ran into the side of the 19. 47 ended up with more damage than Martin Truex Jr., but also Stenhouse had a penalty for going over the orange box at the beginning of pit road, so that's going to pretty much end Stenhouse's day. He was also too fast entering, so yeah, Stenhouse basically is going to take himself out of the equation there with some mistakes coming onto pit road. The 19, though, still out there. It looks like he might have had a tire going down, but it looks like he's okay. The bulk of the hit was right on the numbers, so not really near where the tires are. He got pretty lucky with that one. 70 to go in the stage, though. It's Kyle Larson who's slowly catching your leader, Joey Logano. The gap has gone from 4 seconds to just under 3 seconds. So Larson and Hamlin are slowly inching in on Joey Logano, it seems. But now only 18 cars on the lead lap, the last of those being Ty Gibbs and William Byron. They're just trying to hang on. Austin Cindric currently holds the free pass position. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Up to 2031 new up to 2031. Got 10 new subscribers today. I appreciate it. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Truex currently running in 13th place after that contact with Stenhouse, just ahead of Ty Dillon. Ty Dillon actually having a solid run today, inside the top 15 still. Logano out front by just over 3 seconds on Kyle Larson, so I think Logano might have been losing some ground trying to work through some heavy lap traffic, and that's what was allowing Larson to catch up to him. But I think when it comes to just raw pace, Logano's definitely quite a bit faster than Larson. But I think it's really Hamlin and Logano are the two fastest cars on track right now. Ryan Blaney's in 4th place, but he is 10 seconds behind your leaders. Now Ross Chastain's going at it with Chase Briscoe, and Chase Briscoe is going to be able to pass Ross Chastain going down the front straightaway, but Ross Chastain's going to dive underneath Chase Briscoe as they go into turn 1. Briscoe under attack from Chastain down the back straightaway. Chastain on the inside of Briscoe. And it looks like Briscoe's going to go really high in 3 and 4, and that's going to allow Chastain to have the edge down the front straightaway, but Briscoe will have the position at the line. Briscoe's up to 10th place. Chastain's back to 11th. Behind these guys is Kyle Busch, who is slowly working his way forward. Kyle Busch capitalizing on some other people's mistakes. He's up to 12th place and might be in position to get some stage points here in Stage 2. Still over 60 laps left here in Stage 2. Your top 3 still separated, though, by less than 5 seconds, so things are still somewhat close up front if somebody were to get held up by some lap traffic. But then after that, it's a ways back to Ryan Blaney. But Eric Almirola, how about that 10-car, guys? Eric Almirola moving forward. He's up to 5th place, and he's looking like he might be able to challenge Ryan Blaney for 4th. Eric Almirola has come with some pace today. I feel like once every about 5 to 10 races, Eric Almirola will just show up and run top 5 all day and just randomly have pace. But other than that, Eric Almirola usually not that great. Eric Almirola, though, isn't a must-win scenario. So, last year he kind of just pulled off a random upset at New Hampshire. Today, could he pull off the random upset at Richmond? Well, yeah, once again, Larson's kind of eating into the lead of Joey Logano right now. So is Hamlin. But it seems like that's only happening because Logano's getting held up by lap traffic occasionally. Currently, the first car one lap down Austin Cindric. Then it's Cole Custer. Those guys battling for the free pass. But then you have a couple guys stuck 2 laps down here early on. Wouldn't have imagined this spot would be Austin Dillon, Tyler Reddick, Ricky Stenhouse. Some guys that were hoping for better here today. Still, everybody's got to make one more stop here in stage 2. That final stop here in stage 2 will probably be coming in about the next 10 laps. And as I say that, Chris Buescher's into pit, and it looks like green flag pit stops are probably starting right now. Here comes Denny Hamlin, and yeah, that undercut is lethal. So if you're able to just come in a little bit before everybody else, you might be able to gain a whole second on the people you're around. And I'm going to imagine that Logano and Larson are going to be coming in next time by. We'll have to see. Hamlin entered pit road 4 seconds behind your leader. He's coming at least 1 lap earlier. We'll have to see how much it benefits him. You don't want to make a mistake on pit road, though. We saw Stenhouse make a mistake entering pit road. Hamlin is one of the most penalized teams. He's one of the most penalized teams in NASCAR. He's already got 31 penalties on the season, which is pretty much unbelievable. He doesn't want a 32nd. But Logano, Larson, your top 2 into pit. Harvick, Keselowski. Yeah, and everybody's coming into pit road now. Everybody will be in within the next 5 laps. So we'll have to see. Does Logano beat Larson off of pit road? Larson's got that first pit stall. Does it help him very much? And it looks like Logano's going to be able to beat Larson off of pit road. And Truex in his pit stall pretty sideways. He's able to get out of it okay, though. Truex is just able to beat Ty Gibbs off of pit road. We'll have to see how everybody merges out after pit stops. Now Blaney, Elliott, Briscoe, Chastain, Kyle Busch all into pit. And just about everybody has made their stop except for maybe Cole Custer, a couple others. And now it looks like Hamlin has gotten by Kyle Larson by doing the undercut. Or Hamlin has not gotten by Kyle Larson, but now Denny Hamlin is on the bumper of Kyle Larson. That undercut made up a whole second for Denny Hamlin. That one lap made up a whole second for Denny Hamlin, and now he's on the bumper of Kyle Larson. But more importantly, both of those guys have made up a second on Joey Logano. Joey Logano now only 2 seconds ahead of Kyle Larson and Denny Hamlin. And that battle at the front, your top 3 separated by only 2.5 seconds. But everybody's into pit now. Only Bowman, Suarez, Gilliland, a couple others still need to make their pit stop. Now we'll have to see where does Gregson and Ricky Stenhouse cycle out now after their strategies. Now, Stenhouse got a penalty, so he's in 23rd, 1 lap down. Gregson still on the lead lap and 16th on the lead lap. So it worked out pretty even for him. I would still say the 2-stop strategy was probably the better one, but I'd say it's pretty much, they're pretty dead even. Oh, Blaney does not. They think they do not have a tight lug nut on the 12 car. We'll have to keep an update on that. Pit crew signaling that the left rear is not on the 12 car tight. They're going to try and review the film to see if that 12 car's left rear lug nut is on there tight enough, but it does not seem like, according to the pit crew member, that it was on tight enough. I mean, he's still out there turning laps. But this could be a game changer for Ryan Blaney. Looks like for now they're going to leave that 12 car out there and hope that lug nut does not become loose. But I mean, right now, Ryan Blaney, he's running in 5th place. He's poised to get quite a few stage points, give himself even more cushion over Martin Truex Jr. I don't know, do you want to come in and make that pit stop just to make sure you have that left rear lug nut on and not risk, having that tire fall off and having members on your team suspended and also crashing the car? Like, is it worth the risk? You have about a 25-point cushion. I feel like it might be worth the sacrifice of about 10 points. Meanwhile, Martin Truex Jr. is now 1 lap down himself. He's the first car 1 lap down, so I don't know. I think it might be worth the risk of bringing him into pit. I mean, Truex does not seem like he's going to score a lot of points today. I feel like I'd rather be safe than sorry for Ryan Blaney. You've already picked up a couple points here in stage 1. That's enough cushion, I feel like. Appreciate everybody tuning in, guys. We've got 90 people watching. Can we get up to 50 likes, guys? I'd appreciate it. Tony, that's the downside of the single lug nut and the race to get everything together before the fuel is done. Yeah, no, that's the thing is, the single lug nut, that has been the story all year. is that people that don't like this single lug nut because, I mean, yeah, if it's loose, the whole tire's coming off rather than when you had 5 lugs, you could afford to have 1 or even 2 lug nuts loose. And yeah, you're just trying to get that pit stop done as quick as possible. So, once they drop the jack, it's not like you get a moment to be like, oh, I gotta jab it one more time to make sure it's on. It's like, no, it's too late now. Also, Bell with a pit road penalty. Bell's having to come down pit road under green. He had men over the wall too soon. So that is a tough penalty for Christopher Bell. That'll put him a lap behind your leaders for sure. He's dropped to 24th place, 1 lap down. So that is a tough break for Christopher Bell. That's going to take him out of contention today. Meanwhile, out front, Logano's putting William Byron 1 lap down. And now, Ty Gibbs is on pit road, and that thing is smoking. Is Ty Gibbs blowing up in that 45 car? It looks like Ty Gibbs has got a big mechanical issue. That Jordan car does not look like it's going to go 2 for 2, so that's a tough break. We'll have to see if they're able to get that 45 car back out there, but he came down pit road, and they've got the hood up right away. He might be done for the day. But wow, with this long green flag run, the leaders have had so much pace. Only 13 cars still on the lead lap right now, guys, and only 4 cars are 1 lap down. And they're going to push the 45 car behind the wall, so Ty Gibbs might just be done for the day here in his 4th career Cup Series start. That's a tough break for Ty Gibbs. But really, Joey Logano, Kyle Larson, and Hamlin have had so much pace today, guys. Your top 3 are just flying through this field, and we might finish stage 2 with less than 10 cars on the lead lap. Ty Dillon currently hangs on as the last car on the lead lap in 13th. And Truex is trying to get by William Byron for that lucky dog position on the outside. Truex is trying to roll the top, and he's going to get by William Byron. Now he's in 14th place, so Truex currently in the free pass position. If we were to get a caution, he would be given the opportunity to get back on the lead lap, whereas Byron would not in 15th place. But the thing for Truex is just up the road from Logano is Ty Dillon. So with 45 to go in this stage, in 13th place, Ty Dillon's about a second away from your leader. Ross Chastain's maybe 2 seconds up, and Kyle Busch is 3 seconds up the road. Then, I mean, yeah, there's definitely the possibility that Joey Logano could lap all the way up to even about 9th place, even 8th place, which would be pretty crazy. That would be like unforeseen in the next gen era. Thanks for the advice there, Tony. But yeah, once again, the poll in the chat, who gets in the playoffs, Blaney or Truex, split dead even, 50-50. I'm siding with Ryan Blaney right now, but then again, I mean, we are just seeing how one little mistake can change it all. Ryan Blaney, they thought they might have a loose wheel. It looks like they don't, but I mean, they thought they did, and if they had to come down and make a second pit stop, or let's say they crashed and they lost that loose wheel, that wheel came off and they crashed the car, everything changes in a moment, and then they would be the ones below the cut line having to try to catch up to Martin Truex Jr. And we got 90 people watching, guys, up to 45 likes. I appreciate it. Can we get up to 50? Also, we're up to 32, guys. Appreciate it. We've gotten 11 new subscribers today. Hit 2,000 subscribers last Sunday. We're looking to get to 3,000 maybe is our stretch goal, to get to 3,000 by the end of the NASCAR regular season. Closing in on the halfway point, though, in this race. 190 laps complete, 210 to go. Mark, you're still pulling for Kyle Busch? Well, he slowly worked his way forward. He's just got to try and stay on the lead lap to the end of the stage, currently in 11th place, just outside of the stage points. Also, Ross Chastain has gotten passed by Kyle Busch and Ty Dillon. Chastain's back to 13th. Last car on the lead lap, just ahead of your leader, Joey Logano. But shout out to Ty Dillon, guys. Ty Dillon up in 12th place, having probably the best run of his season so far. Ty Dillon, there's only a couple cars still on the lead lap, and Ty Dillon's still one of them. Not based off any strategy or anything, so solid run for Ty Dillon so far today. But you got Chastain and Dillon kind of battling for that 11th spot or 12th spot right now. And just behind him, Joey Logano is catching him. And Joey Logano does not want to get held up by these lapped cars because Kyle Larson is catching up to him. Kyle Larson now only about a second and a half behind your leader. We could have a battle for the or we could have a battle for the Stage 2 win here very soon. Darren, you're using NASCAR to figure out your fantasy football draft order. That'd be... I mean, that's pretty interesting, guys. Also, I think we're going to have another fantasy football league for the YouTube channel. So if you guys if you guys are interested in that, let me know in the chat. We could do a fantasy football league for the YouTube channel. Just fantasy football league, and it's just open to the subscribers. Or maybe a pick'ems league. That might be better because you could have more people. We'll see. Yeah, still 35 cars in this race. Ty Gibbs has gone behind the wall after having mechanical issues. Only one caution for incident that happened on lap 3 when Tyler Reddick spun. He's still in the race, but he's a couple laps down. A big moment a little earlier in the race between Stenhouse and Truex when Stenhouse came to pit road, kind of slid up the racetrack, back out onto the groove, and made contact with the 19. Both those cars are okay, though. Truex, though, the first car, one lap down in 14th place. He is on the bumper of Joey Logano, so Truex currently trying to unlap himself with 35 to go in the stage, or at least be in that lucky dog position as he is right behind the leader. Appreciate it, Mark. Appreciate it. Also, we're one like away from 50 likes, guys. If we get one more like and get to 50, I would appreciate it. The reason I ask you guys to like the stream is because when you like the stream, basically what YouTube does is they're like, oh, people like this, we'll recommend it to other people. So you know what? That's how it gets shown to more people, and that's how more people watch. Pretty simple right there. But Logano closing in on Chastain and Ty Dillon, but who's closing in on Logano is Kyle Larson, as Kyle Larson is now starting to enter the picture of this fight for the lead. There's 2 cars between Logano and Larson still. That's Truex and Byron. But, yeah, this battle to be on the lead lap, or at least be in that lucky dog position, really heating up. Right now, though, we're on lap 199 of 400, so we are right about the halfway point in the race, closing in on the end of Stage 2. Still 30 to go in the stage. Larson trying to find a way by his teammate William Byron. William Byron a lap down. And now Larson only 1 second behind your leader, Joey Logano. Kyle Larson only has 2 stage wins this season. So really different year for Kyle Larson, at least compared to last year. So, a stage win here would be really big for him just to get that, just to get those playoff points. That would be crucial, especially in those cutoff races this year when you don't have as many playoff points compared to last year. Mark, what time does it? Oh, I just ate my Chipotle burrito before I went live, just so you know. So don't worry about it. I'll take a quesadilla, Tony. I'll take a quesadilla, Tony. But out front, Logano, Larson, Hamlin. Your top 3 still separated by 3 seconds. Hamlin's kind of faded away from your top 2. Still in the picture, but with 30 to go, he's really going to need to pick up the pace. Harvick in 4th place has actually made up a little bit of ground. He's come back from 11 seconds back to 9 seconds back, but still way too far out of the picture. Yeah, Logano, it seems like he's really just kind of, he's on pretty much even, he's running just about even lap times with these lapped cars he's around, and it's just so hard to make passes. Yeah, there's still 13 cars, only 13 cars on the lead lap, but I mean, if Logano can get by Chastain and Ty Dillon, he'll be able to catch Kyle Busch, I think, before the end of the stage, and then he would be lapping up into the top 10, basically. But then you got, Logano has kind of grown that lead back over Kyle Larson a bit. Now it's a bit more comfortable. It's up to almost a second and a half, so. But Logano this time is almost to the bumper of Chastain down the front straightaway. Looks like that one car continuing to fade on the long run. Chastain dominated stage 1, but his sensors just totally faded. Not really sure what happened with that car. Just almost like a flip switched, and he just lost the pace immediately on the restart to stage 2. He was just losing ground to everybody he was around. Yeah, Logano, I feel like that 22 car is starting to lose. I feel like he's pretty much used up a lot of his stuff trying to put these guys a lap down. And I feel like that's hurting his pace, and he might even lose. I mean, Truex might be able to unlap himself here, which would be a really big deal for him because he needs to be on the lead lap right now. Ryan Blaney's still on the lead lap in 5th place. Truex needs to be able to be on the lead lap here at the end of the stage to have a shot at getting a decent result. But then just behind Truex, so he's still got to hold off William Byron, who's still possibly in the picture. Well, also a guy who's entering this picture is Daniel Suarez, but Daniel Suarez has fresher tires than all these guys, so that could be a factor. You know, Daniel Suarez puts one of these guys, catches one of these guys off guards, and gets them in a bad position. But right now, Brad Keselowski holds on to that final spot in the top 10. He's just a half a second ahead of Kyle Busch, so that's the battle for that final stage point. And then you got a good battle between Ryan Blaney and Eric Almirola. Those guys are only a couple tenths apart. Elliott and Briscoe pretty close together as well, so we're probably going to have some good battles coming down to the end of this stage. And right now, yeah, Logano's almost grown that lead over Larson back up to close to 2 seconds, so Larson's starting to fade in the mirror of the 22 car. So it looks like Larson might have used up his stuff early in the run trying to catch up to Logano. Now they're going to cut to commercial break, but I'll try to continue to bring you the action with this leaderboard. Yeah, some guys who have struggled today: Alex Bowman, Daniel Suarez, Michael McDowell, both the RCR cars. Some guys that you'd expect to do a bit better, but I think my shout-outs of the day so far at least probably go to Ty Dillon and Eric Almirola. Both of those guys running really well so far. Ty Dillon in 12th place, Eric Almirola in 6th. Ty Dillon actually outrunning his teammate Eric Jones today. Eric Jones back in 21st. Probably one of the first times this year Ty Dillon has actually outrun Eric Jones. Ty Dillon has really adapted to this track today a bit better than the majority of other guys. Sorry, guys. A bit tired, guys. We've been camping all week. Haven't gotten the best sleep. No, we're back now. We're back. Trying to bring you the best coverage that we can. Tony. I got you, Tony. I got you. Yeah, right now, according to the battle for that final spot in the cut line, after stage 1, Blaney gained, I believe, 4 points on Truex. So now the gap is up to 23 points in favor of Blaney. And as they run, Blaney's going to get another 6 stage points, so he would be up to, in favor, 29 points over Truex. And then if they finish where they are, that'd be another 10 points. So if things stay as they are, Blaney would be 39 points ahead of Truex going into Watkins Glen. Basically an almost impossible amount of points for Truex to make up in just 2 races. So yeah, Truex really needs to pick things up if he wants to have a shot going into the Glen next weekend. Because I don't think Blaney or Truex need to win. I don't think we're going to have any other surprise winners. I know Daytona can prove anything, but I think those guys are going to be going a bit too desperate to win and lock themselves in, and they're just going to take themselves out, those guys below the cut line, like Keselowski, like Almirola, like LaJoie. Now, like I was saying, Logano was catching these guys in the top 13, but he's caught them, and he's just not been able to pass them. Right now, he's really just been held up by Ross Chastain for the last 30 laps or so, and he can just not make up the ground. And Kyle Larson has, been able to make up some ground on the leader when he gets caught up in lap traffic, but then, as soon as the 22 gets some clean air, he just pulls away again. With 15 to go in the stage, the gap is 1.5 seconds, so still pretty close, but so Logano is still trying to catch up to Chastain. Chastain just 2 car lengths or so about ahead of the 22, and then behind the 22, he's got Suarez on fresher tires, and right behind Suarez is Truex, who's trying to unlap himself. And also, another guy who's entered the fold, Bubba Wallace, is up to 15th place. Could Bubba Wallace drive up here and pass Martin Truex Jr. and get back into that lucky dog position here with 13 to go in stage 2? Tony, the fuel game not very important here. Late in state, all these guys are good on fuel to the end here. Yeah, the 22 is really starting to lose all the handling, though. All these guys are just trying to save these tires and get to the end of the stage. You don't want to. All these tires are pretty much garbage right now. Nobody has any grip or traction. But yeah, Larson 2 seconds back from your leader, Logano, so it does not seem like Larson's going to be able to challenge Logano with 12 to go in the stage. Now 11 to go. Just had to step away for a second. Coming to 10 to go in the stage. And now Ryan Blaney's under pressure from Eric Almirola for 5th place. Almirola trying to get by Blaney. And right now, Martin Truex Jr. is Eric Almirola's biggest fan. He wants Blaney to get as few stage points as possible. Meanwhile, though, Martin Truex Jr. is able to unlap himself off of turn 2. Martin Truex Jr. is able to get under leader Joey Logano and clear him off of turn 2 down the back straightaway. Martin Truex Jr. back onto the lead lap in 14th place. And now Bowman also going by Logano, but Bowman is 2 laps down, so that's a bit different. But it looks like the handling has really gone away on that 22 car, and now Kyle Larson is catching Joey Logano. Could Kyle Larson mix things up with Joey Logano? I thought things were over, but I think I spoke too soon, ladies and gents. And now, also the guy who now has the free pass is Bubba Wallace, who, like I said, just got by William Byron, so now Bubba Wallace would be the free pass car. And the closest car to him is Byron, but Byron's a couple car lengths behind Bubba. But yeah, the gap is now down to half a second or so, just a little bit more than half a second from Logano to Larson. Can Larson push and catch Logano here with 8 to go in the stage? This would be a big stage win for Kyle Larson. He needs those playoff points. 7 to go in the stage. Kyle Larson finished 3rd in stage 2. He finished 2nd in stage 2. He just needs to improve one more spot. Or no, he finished 3rd in stage 2, my bad. He just needs to improve stage 1. Yeah, I just forget what I just said there, ladies and gents. But coming to 6 to go in the stage, Larson is right in the rearview mirror of the 22. There's no lapped cars between them. And Almirola is underneath the 12 car, Blaney, as they come off the turn 4. Almirola trying to get by Blaney for 5th place. And in front of them, the 15 car in the wall, quite a bit going down into turn 1. He made pretty hard contact with that outside wall. We'll have to see if that cuts down tire on that 15 car. That was pretty hard contact. Anyways, the 10 still underneath the 12 down the front straightaway once again. They are dead even at the line. 5 to go. Larson's still hanging 7/10 of a second back from Logano. Larson's going to need Logano to get held up by another lapped car to actually have a shot at him here. And Kyle Busch has gotten by Brad Keselowski for 10th place. So now Kyle Busch has that last potential stage point in 10th place. And it looks like Blaney's going to be able to clear Almirola off of turn 4. So he's going to hold on to that spot for now. But with 4 to go in the stage, he's still not out of the woods yet. And still Bubba Wallace holding on to that lucky dog spot. Behind him is Byron and Cindric. The 10 car, though, right on the bumper of the 12. And he's going to give him a bit of a shot. Oh, but the 10's going to slide as well. Almirola tried to dive it off in there off turn 4. Just wasn't quite close enough. And also Larson, with 3 to go, is just not going to be close enough to Logano. He's going to need Logano to really mess up or something to have a shot at him. off of turn 4. 2 to go in the stage for Logano. And Almirola and Blaney are really going at it right now. And just recently, your leaders have made up your top 5 have made up a ton of ground on your top 3. Your top 3 are 10 seconds ahead of 4th place in this stage, but it is now less than a 5-second gap from 3rd place to 5th place. And, Almirola is going to give a tap to the back of Blaney once again off of turn 4. The white flag's in the air here. That's in stage 2. Logano's just got to make it one more lap ahead of Kyle Larson, but Hamlin now is to the bumper of Larson. And it looks like Logano's going to be able to hold on, but will Larson be able to hold on over Denny Hamlin? It looks like, yes, he will. Larson's going to throw the block high. Blaney's going to dive it in on the underneath. Almirola's going to dive it underneath Blaney, but he's just not going to be close enough. It's Logano, Larson, Hamlin, Harvick, Blaney, your top 5, then Almirola in 6th. Then Buescher with a solid result in 7th place. Buescher having a quietly good run. In 8th, you have Chase Elliott. And then rounding out your top 10, Chase Briscoe and Kyle Busch. So that's stage 2 complete. We're past halfway now at Richmond. 230 laps complete, still 170 to go. Only 14 cars able to stay on the lead lap through the first 2 stages. Bubba will also get the free pass here, but no cautions really yet in this race. Still 35 cars out on track. The drama's still yet to really pick up here at Richmond, but maybe we're in for an eventful final stage. Yeah, I'd say my shout-outs so far go to Almirola, Buescher, and Ty Dillon. All those guys still doing good jobs of staying on the lead lap through the first 2 stages. Yeah, then Bubba will also be the free pass, and it's Byron, Cendric, Bell, Haley, Jones, Custer, Burton, Gregson, Stenhouse, Gilliland, Suarez, and Bowman, each 1 lap down. So there's just as many cars on the lead lap as 1 lap down. And then you have Dillon, Reddick, LaJoy, each 2 laps down. Then you have McDowell, Castle, 3 laps down. Yaley and McLeod, 4 laps down. And Cody Ware, 5 laps down. And then Ty Gibbs in the garage after blowing up earlier in the day. We appreciate everybody tuning in, guys. We got 100 people watching right now. I appreciate it. Can we get up to 60 likes? Make sure you drop a like and subscribe. Up to 35 subscribers again. 14 new subscribers today, guys. I appreciate it. We'll check in on the chat and that poll. Who gets in, Blaney or Truex? It is dead even. The slight edge to Ryan Blaney, but 50-50 basically. I'm going to put up a new poll in the chat. Melinda, you're rooting for Chase. Chase is still on the lead lap. He's slowly working his way forward. This final stage is going to be big, this first restart. If you can make up some ground here early on in the restart, that is huge. Make up some spots on pit road. That'll really change things up for you. But who wins at Richmond? Logano. Does Logano win at Richmond? Does Hamlin go back-to-back? Does Kyle Larson get his 2nd win at Richmond? His 2nd win of the season as well? Or who else has been in the mix? We'll say Ryan Blaney. Or we'll say Harvick. Could Harvick go back-to-back? Now that Harvick's been able to break the drought, can he go back-to-back? But appreciate everybody tuning in. If you want to give a super chat, go right ahead. Hit the $sign down on the chat. Yeah, Tony Harvick. I feel like Harvick has just been slowly closing down the leaders all day. Just slowly making up ground here and there. That's what he did last weekend. He was slowly moved. He started in 15th, worked his way up into the top 10, then worked his way up into the top 5, and at the end, made up some ground on a restart and was out front when the checkers flew. And the race off of pit road, everybody taking 4 tires and fuel. And Kyle Larson with a blinding pit stop able to win the race off pit road. Logano second, then Hamlin, Harvick. Almirola gets by Blaney, then Buescher. Briscoe gets by Elliott, and then Kyle Buescher top 10. So really not a lot of change for position other than Kyle Larson now out front. A great job by that pit crew to get him out front first. And in the chat, the majority of you guys are saying Kyle Larson in the poll, over 50% so far, but still a lot more votes still to be cast. Appreciate everybody tuning in right now, though. Up to 36 subscribers, guys. I appreciate it. That's 15 new subscribers today. And then you have Larson, Logano, Hamlin, Harvick. Yeah, so your running order is still the same, but yeah, now it's Bubba Wallace back on the lead lap. So Bubba's trying to keep his streak of top 10s in a row alive. He's got 4 in a row right now. Could he get 5 in a row? This is the best run of his career. He struggled so far today, but can he turn it on here late in the going? In this final stage, which strategy call is it going to be? Is it going to be the 2-stopper or the 1-stopper? We saw somebody try to pull off the 1-stop in stage 2, but ended up making a penalty, so it didn't really, didn't end up working out for him. But then in the spring race earlier this year, some people tried the 1-stop strategy, and it almost worked out for them until 5 to go. They got caught up. They got caught by the 2-stop strategy. So if you think maybe you can pull off the 1-stop strategy and hold on for that, final 5 laps, then maybe you go for that 1-stop strategy. But the 2-stop strategy is really like the safe call. Aaron, your Alex Bowman update. Alex Bowman has really been a non-factor all day. He was running in the top 10 early, but has since just faded and faded fast. And he was 2 laps down for quite a bit in stage 2, but was able to unlap himself once, so now he's 1 lap down. So he could be in the mix for the lucky dog if we get a quick caution, but currently running in 25th, 1 lap down, where he's been the majority of the day. We have the majority of you guys in the chat saying Kyle Larson, 50%, then it's split even between Logano, Hamlin, and Harvick as well. And I'd say so far the racing at Richmond has been pretty good, pretty spread out, but I mean we haven't seen a lot of bumping and banging just yet. We'll have to see if that picks up here though in the final stage. Richmond's kind of a unique NASCAR track or unique NASCAR track in a way, because it's like you got that short track, style of racing, except for there's really not a lot of bumping and banging. I mean, it's very stuck to the bottom. That's, very typical, but, not your typical, there's not your typical, rubbing is racing at Richmond. Also, another new subscriber. I appreciate it. If we could get to 2050 by the end of the day, that'd be a pretty solid goal. Also, almost to 60 likes as well. I appreciate it. Got 80 people watching right now. Appreciate everybody who's tuned in, though. We got over 1,500 viewers on the day. But yeah, now Larson will start out front on the inside, Logano to his outside, then Hamlin on the inside of row 2 to his outside, Kevin Harvick. On every restart so far, the inside line has prevailed. We'll see if that continues true here on this restart. Okay, Bell took the wave around. He did not pit. He's back on the lead lap, but he's on old tires. So, they're probably like, we're probably not going to get caution, so we're just hoping that we're able to, pull this wave around off and get back on the lead lap. So, Bell's back on the lead lap, but, he's just got to hope for a quick caution so he doesn't just go right back a lap down on those old tires. But the green flag's going to be in the air as they come through the Geico restart zone. Kyle Larson on the inside, Logano on the outside. The final stage is underway. 160 laps to go here at Richmond. And Larson's going to get the jump, and he's going to be able to clear Logano as they go into turn 1. But Logano's trying to hold his own on the outside. Larson's still not actually quite clear of the 22 just yet as they go down the back straightaway. Logano's just hanging there on the outside of the 5. Now he's going to be able to, the 5 will be able to slide up and clear him. Now Larson's going to run a defensive line off turn 4. Oh, and Kyle Busch is around. Jones, Chastain, Gregson involved, and Kyle Busch is going to back it into the inside wall. Not too much heavy contact, but Chastain and Kyle Busch and Jones all involved in a couple spinners off of turn 4. We'll have to see who started that one. All the cars are going to be able to drive away from that one, but it does not appear. We'll have to see who started that. Was it Ross Chastain in the back of Kyle Busch? I'm not sure, but that's our first big one of the day. And you know what? You know who that's going to benefit? Oh, Eric Jones looks like he might be done for the day, though. That left front made contact with the side of Noah Gragson, and that it looks like he broke the right front toe link on that 43. And, Chastain just drives through Kyle Busch. Oh, boy. And then Jones drives through Chastain and Truex involved in that one, actually. So we'll have to see. It looks like all those guys are okay except for Jones, but Chastain just drove through Kyle Busch and then got driven through by Eric Jones. So that caused Kyle Busch and Chastain to spin, and Jones made pretty heavy contact with the 1, the 19. So it looks like as they go off into turn 1 on the restart, Chastain just comes up the track into Kyle Busch. And then, Chastain has to kind of bail out of the gas, and then Eric Jones doesn't know what's happening ahead of him and just drives through Chastain. So then that causes the 18 and the 1 to spin, and that's really all that happens. Everybody else does a good job of avoiding, though. Jones, though, the only one with any real damage. It looks like the right front toe link is broken. So we'll have to see. I think just about everybody will be able to drive away from this one. Aaron, there really wasn't anything that happened to Alex Bowman. He just hasn't had the pace today. Wasn't any specific moment. So the free pass from that one will be William Byron. So William Byron will get back on the lead lap, and that'll put 17 cars on the lead lap. We'll see where Chastain. We'll see where these guys line. Who is able to make it back out on track? Do they think that one car is going to be the 1, the 43, and the 18 are really the only ones with any damage that could take them out of the race? And it looks like the 18's good to go. The 18's back out on track. So is the 1. And like I said, I think that 43 is really the only one with race-ending damage per se. Okay, so we got, in the poll, 40% of you guys say Larson, 30% say Logano, 20% say Hamlin, 10% say Harvick. So that's our second caution for incident on the day. Our caution's going to breed cautions here at Richmond. We had a couple of wreckfests back in the day at Richmond when it was the regular season finale. Since then, it really hasn't been the same type of drama. But it's Larson, Logano, Hamlin, Harvick, Almirola, your top 5 now. Then Blaney, Briscoe, Buescher, Elliott, Keselowski, your top 10. Then Ty Dillon, Truex, Wallace, Bell, Byron, your top 15. And I don't think Kyle Busch is very happy with Ross Chastain, nor do I think that Denny Hamlin, or nor do I think Martin Truex Jr. is very happy with Ross Chastain. Over Truex's radio, he just said that one car every time just driving in over his head base. I mean, he's just like, that one car, always that one car. And it looks like they're supposed to take the green flag this time, but we might get it pushed off for a piece of debris that looks like it's just flown up on the front straightaway. And the green flag's in the air. Kyle Larson on the inside, Logano on the outside. And it looks like is Larson going to be able to hold off Logano once again. Logano, though, has a better restart than last time. Logano's got the edge as they go into turn 1. Can Logano roll the high side down the back straightaway? The 22 has the advantage over the 5, and he's going to be able to clear Kyle Larson. Joey Logano to the point, and Kevin Harvick tucks into third place ahead of Denny Hamlin. Ryan Blaney trying to get by Hamlin on the outside of turn 4. This time they make it through cleanly. Off turn 4 now, it's Logano, Larson, Harvick, your top 3, and Hamlin and Blaney side by side for 4th. Behind them, Briscoe and Almirola side by side for 6th. And Blaney's going to use that high side, and it looks like he's going to be able to clear Hamlin. Blaney's up to 4th place, and Briscoe also moving forward. Briscoe's up to 6th. And Jones is out of this race from that last crash. Jones is out of this race. The second car to go to the garage today. And Briscoe's going to go around Hamlin on the outside. Hamlin really fading on this restart right now. Hamlin has dropped from 3rd place all the way back to 6th. But it's Logano now out front once again on this restart. Larson in 2nd, then Harvick and Blaney in 3rd and 4th. Closing in on 150 laps left in this race. Time is winding down. Logano trying to, he's just got now a half-second lead over Larson, then it's a half-second back to Harvick. So Logano's already jumped down to a decent-sized lead here early. Meanwhile, Truex is still struggling back in 13th place, trying to get by Ty Dillon, who's having a great run today. Then Ross Chastain trying to get by Truex as well. So there's quite the squabble going off, but from about 12th place back to 16th, all those guys running nose to tail. Meanwhile, Austin Cindric's currently got the free pass position over Justin Haley and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Oh, and Bell's going to go around on the front straightaway. Bell is going to go around on the front stretch. That'll bring out the caution. Oh, Bell just popped that apron. He just got the left front down too far below the apron, throttled up, and just spun it around. Just a little too aggressive there from Christopher Bell, but that'll bring out our 3rd caution for incident. Everybody, drives away cleanly from that one. Bell was trying to get underneath his teammate Kyle Busch and just slipped a tire on the apron and spun around. No harm done to anything except those Goodyear tires. So this will bring another restart where it'll be Larson versus Logano once again. And yeah, now in the poll for who wins the race, it's about a bit more even between Logano and Larson. Larson still has a bit more of an edge over Logano. And the free pass will be Austin Cindric. So that'll put 18 cars on the lead lap. And for Alex Bowman, I mean, he's still 1 lap down. Doesn't really, I guess it's good for him, but it doesn't make a huge difference. So it looks like the chaos is starting to pick up now just a bit in this final stage. I've had 2 back-to-back cautions. Our longest green flag run in this final stage is about 6 laps or so. Also, guys, I'll be back in just 1 second. And just like that, we're back. And also, wow, okay, a couple of guys are going to pit here under this caution for the 20 car. So quite a few guys are coming down to take tires. Well, not that many, about maybe 5 or 6, but I don't really know how much of a difference this will make. Maybe about 10 lap fresher tires, we'll see. But, I mean, I don't know. I feel like this is a bit risky. Now you may not have a fresh set of tires if we get a caution later in the race. We'll see how many guys stayed out there. It looks like Hamlin, Logano. Well, it looks like only about, we'll say, maybe 5 cars stayed out. It's Logano, Larson, Harvick, Briscoe, Almirola, Buescher, Elliott, Keselowski. So about half and half. So about half the guys stayed out for fresh tire, or stayed out on old tires, and about half came in for fresh tires. Now, only about a 10-lap tire difference, but 10 laps is big here at Richmond. I mean, the tire fall off is huge. I feel like it's almost comparable to Atlanta or Darlington in terms of tire fall off. So now, would you have gone with fresh tires, or would you have stayed out on the old tires? I feel like it depends. I mean, if you're out front, I feel like you had to stay out. You know, you had to stay out and keep the track position, because at the end of the day, track position is key. But yeah, you just can't make the mistakes on pit road, though. We didn't see any penalties that time under caution, but yeah, mistakes on pit road are also something you just can't afford here. And so now, I assume Logano will take the low line, Larson will take the high line for this restart. Wow, and there are a lot of fans there at Richmond today. Appreciate everybody tuning in, guys. Got 80 people watching, guys. Appreciate it. Up to 2039. Guys, we're 11 subscribers away from the goal. If we get to 2050, I would appreciate it. That's the goal for today. So it's Logano on the low side, Larson on the outside, like I said, but Harvick is going to be behind the 5, and Briscoe will be behind the 22. So those two actually, we got 3 SHR cars in the top 5. So Stewart-Haas actually has a bit of pace today. And the other Stewart-Haas car, Cole Custer, was pretty fast, but he's had a couple issues throughout the day in terms of mechanical stuff. So can't really put too much blame on him. But here they come to the restart. And Larson's going to spin the tires just a bit. That's going to allow Logano to get the jump. But Briscoe might try to duck beneath Logano. And Kyle Busch is going to go way high on the outside with the fresh tires. Kyle Busch with the fresh tires is making up a ton of ground on the high side. My goodness. Fresh tires seem like they were the move right now. But Chase Briscoe is trying to take second place from Kyle Larson. And Briscoe and Larson are going to bang doors. Oh boy, Briscoe and Larson bang doors in turn 3 and 4, and it's Logano out front, and then it's Briscoe and Larson side by side for second, Harvick 4th, Almirola 5th, and then Kyle Busch on fresh tires is up to 7th place trying to go by Chase Elliott, and man, those fresh tires are slicing through the field right now. Now, will they be able to catch the leaders, though, by the time they lose their effect? Larson might be able to just clear Briscoe this time off turn 4. Yes, he will. Whoa! And Blaney and Truex bang doors just a bit back in the pack battling. And Truex is out on older tires, I believe. Blaney's got fresh tires, I think. But one guy who's made up some ground through all this is Bubba Wallace. Now Bubba Wallace up into the top 10 on fresh tires. That strategy's working for him. Right now, Justin Haley in the free pass position. Alex Bowman just behind him. But it's Logano, Larson, Briscoe, Harvick, Almirola, your top 5. Your first car on fresh tires is Kyle Busch, who's up to 7th place, then Hamlin, who's up to 8th. But Logano out front already almost by a second over Kyle Larson. So it does look like the old tires might be the move. The fresh tires gained some ground right on the initial restart, but now already only under a couple laps on these fresh tires, and they're just about equal with the cars they're around. Elliott doing a good job of holding up Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch on fresh tires right now. So far, they've kept it clean on this restart, although I will say the bumping and banging has picked up just a bit as Bubba Wallace and Ryan Blaney knocking doors down the front straightaway for 10th place. Oh, and Kyle Busch is going to get a bit loose off of turn 2. That might be 3 wide between Kyle Busch. Blaney's going to give a shot to Kyle Busch. Blaney gives the shot to the back of the 18, and that's going to make the Kyle Busch lose a spot to both Blaney and Bubba Wallace. Kyle Busch has not been happy all day. I mean, he keeps getting the bumper from everybody, it feels like. You got to imagine Kyle Busch is going to give some payback to somebody eventually. Oh, boy. And Logano, though, driving away and hiding right now. He's got a 1.5 lead over Kyle Larson and Chase Briscoe. And the first car on fresh tires right now is Denny Hamlin, who's up to 6th place, who's trying to take 5th place from Chris Buescher. And Harvick's trying to go by his teammate Chase Briscoe as they come off of turn 4. Harvick on the inside of Briscoe. Harvick, the closer, is turning it on late in this race. And now Harvick off of turn 2. Is he just going to be able to clear Briscoe? Not quite. He should be able to get it done this time in turn 3 and 4. Yes, he will. Harvick up to 3rd place. Harvick moving forward. Could Harvick go back to back? I wouldn't rule it out right now. Kevin Harvick is turning it on late. He's got to go by Kyle Larson now. Meanwhile, Logano's already jumped out to almost a 2-second lead. And Briscoe now under pressure from Chris Buescher. Buescher to the outside of Briscoe down the back straightaway. Hamlin also entering this battle. Meanwhile, Kyle Busch and Blaney keep duking it out. Kyle Busch and Blaney not happy with each other at all. And Buescher's going to be able to go by Briscoe on the high side. And now Hamlin's going to be able to make quick work of Briscoe, I would imagine, with the fresh tires. As they go into turn 1, Hamlin on the inside of Briscoe. Hamlin washes up the track just a bit, though. Meanwhile, Almirola's getting by Chase Elliott behind these guys. Bubba Wallace is up to 9th place. And Hamlin is just going to be able to clear, or not quite clear, Chris Buescher down Chase Briscoe down the front straightaway. Man, all these C names, Chris, Chase, getting me confused. But meanwhile, the 22 car still leads by 2 seconds over Larson, then Harvick. But Harvick's trying to go to the inside of Larson off of turn 4. Kevin Harvick not going to be able to quite get there that time, but is Harvick going to be a factor here as we come down to 100 to go soon? Behind these guys, Buescher is closing in on this battle as well. Chris Buescher could win and lock himself into the playoffs. Another underdog. Currently, though, the free pass car, if we were to get a caution, is Justin Haley, who's just ahead of Alex Bowman. Also, Kyle Busch and Ryan Blaney still duking it out for 10th place right now. But it's Logano, Larson, Harvick. Your top 5 or your top 6 separated by less than 3 seconds. Ball GB, hello NASCAR fans, and the ones like me getting bored of it. I do have to say, today's race has been pretty solid, but I would say definitely one of a bit more lackluster. But then again, I feel like Richmond just does not produce the best style of racing, at least in the NASCAR Cup Series. Appreciate everybody tuning in, though, guys. Up to 2041 subscribers. Appreciate it. Our goal for today is 2050. We're 9 subscribers away. I appreciate if we get there. Make sure you drop a like as well if you haven't already. We got almost 100 people watching. I appreciate it. Bowman is 1 lap down. 1 lap down. Sometimes the leaderboard glitches out and puts people an extra lap down. Bowman only 1 lap down, though. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Your top 10, though, is still separated by less than 5 seconds. The field's staying a bit more bunched together on this run than the previous ones. And right now, Harvick really putting the pressure on Larson. And Larson has quite a few cars stacked up right behind him. He's got Harvick, Buescher, Briscoe, Hamlin, all right on his tail. Out the front, though, Logano's loving the Larson and Harvick battle behind him because it's allowing him to just drive away. But still, already some guys with that, like Ross Chastain with the damage he got in that last wreck, He's already about a half a lap behind the leader, so lap traffic is going to be playing a factor once again. So if you're Logano, you want to be able to run off and hide, so that way when you lose some time as you're working your way through these lapped cars, you don't have somebody right on your bumper putting extra pressure on you. Ball GB, who's your favorite driver again? Is it Truex or Blaney? And right now, in the poll for you guys, who do you guys think is going to win? According to you guys, 30% say Logano, 30% say Larson, 25% or so say Harvick, and then 15% for Hamlin. So still pretty even. Oh boy, we got a commercial right now for Austin Dillon's life in the slow lane. I mean fast lane. I mean, yikes! Just that shows yikes. That's all you got to say. Meanwhile, the battle right now, Bubba Wallace going side by side down the front straightaway. That's for 11th place. Kyle Busch lurking in the shadows behind him. Bell trying to get by Bubba Wallace right now. Bell was one of the faster cars early before getting a penalty on the first set of pit stops for too many men over the wall. Oh, and Larson makes some contact with the 17 and the 11, and Larson's been shuffled from second place all the way back to 8th. So Larson's really fading here. That is a tough one. Tough one for Kyle Larson. I mean, he was running up in second place, but I knew we were fading, and then he just gets hung out underneath the 17 and then gets a tap from the 11. Now he's just trying to hang on in 8th place ahead of Ryan Blaney. If I'm Larson, I'm hoping we get another caution here soon. I think if you did not pit under the last caution and you're still planning to split the final stage into thirds, I think that pit window is going to open in the next 10 laps or so. But it might have been changed up by that caution. Not quite sure how that caution is going to affect the strategy with this. More guys, I think, might be a bit inclined to split this final stage in half because we've had so many caution laps here early on. Now Logano now losing some time to Kevin Harvick. Kevin Harvick closing in on your leader, Joey Logano. And then it's Buescher in 3rd, Briscoe in 4th, and Hamlin who's up to 5th place. I think the fresh tires that Hamlin and some of the other Toyotas had pretty much equaled out by this point in the run. And now Larson's been passed by Blaney, and Bell's underneath the 5 car now as they go down the front straightaway. Bell trying to go by the 5. And Larson's really fading on this run. Larson's got that momentum on the high side. That's kind of keeping him alive in this fight for 9th place with Christopher Bell. Larson trying to hold his own up top, but he just can't put the power down like everybody else. That car is just squiggling all over the place when he tries to throttle up. Now Larson's dropped back to 10th place, and Truex is right underneath the 5 car now as well. That's the thing. It is a short track, so there is no time to breathe in between battles. Bubba Wallace, though, under pressure from Kyle Busch for that 12th spot. And Martin Truex Jr. is going to be able to clear Kyle Larson as they go down into turn 1. He'll slide up in front of the 5 car. And now the 19's back into the top 10. And he's only a little bit behind Blaney right now. So I believe as they stand, Blaney is about 32 points above Martin Truex Jr. So if Truex can make up a couple spots here and maybe pass Ryan Blaney and make it down to about 25 points, that gap's a little bit more manageable going into Watkins Glen. Now Kyle Busch trying to go around the 5 car on the high side, and he's going to make that pass happen. Kyle Busch moving forward, Larson moving backward. And Harvick, though, has reeled in your leader, guys. Kevin Harvick is the fastest car on the racetrack right now. He's making up like 0.3 of a second on Joey Logano every lap. Kevin Harvick is catching your leader, Joey Logano. And could Kevin Harvick go back-to-back? I would not rule it off the table like I was saying earlier. The closer, Kevin Harvick. And then you have Chris Buescher having a solid run in 3rd place just ahead of Joey Logano. He's 2 seconds back from the lead. Logano's by Briscoe. Now Hamlin's 2.5 seconds off your leader. And Elliott's worked his way up to 6th place. Elliott just slowly inching forward all day. Slowly inching forward. This has been a good grind-out day for Chase Elliott after having a pretty rough weekend last weekend at Michigan. Closing in on 100 laps to go. Closing in on the final quarter of this race. But yeah, the gap is now down to half a second. And Harvick has caught Logano without even the aid of lap traffic. That 4-car is just coming to life. Could Harvick get by Logano here with 111 laps to go? But the green flag pit stops are going to be starting in the next 10 laps or so with about 100 to go. That'll be when the green flag pit stops begin. And Kyle Larson continues to fade. He's back to 12th place under pressure from Bubba Wallace and William Byron. And also right now, Alex Bowman currently has that free pass spot. He's been able to get by Justin Haley and Austin Dillon. Ross Chastain, though, currently the last car on the lead lap. He's quite a bit off the pace compared to the other lead lap cars because of that damage he's got. He'll probably be going a lap down within the next 20 laps or so would be my guess. Yeah, last lap, Kevin Harvick was the fastest car on the track. Reeling in your leader, Joey Logano. Tony, yeah, as Tony says in the chat, Harvick has the where did he come from effect, that's for sure. Now Harvick has kind of reeled in Logano, but it seems like he's kind of stalled out about a half second to a second back from your leader. I don't know if Logano was maybe trying to save a bit early in the run, and that's why Harvick was able to reel him in as fast as he did, or maybe Harvick used up his stuff. Either way, these guys will be coming to pit within the next 10 laps, and that'll give everybody fresh tires and even out the playing field once again. Now, I think another thing to keep track of is those guys that pitted under the last caution. Are they still going to try and split this final stage into thirds, or because they have fresher tires, should they just try and split this stage into halves? We'll find out here pretty quickly. I still would say split it into thirds and just be on the same strategy as everybody else if you're Denny Hamlin, because Denny Hamlin has pace. But I would say everybody else who doesn't quite have that same pace, try and split it into halves. Just get off strategy and hope your off strategy wins you the race. Yeah, Ball. I mean, Truex is supposed to be the king of Richmond, but it doesn't seem like that's the case today. And Blaney's into pit. And Truex is now gained a couple. Now, we'll have to see. Blaney can't afford to make any mistakes on pit road. They're worried about having a loose lug nut under the last set of pit stops. It looks like they're all on this time. So, yeah, Ryan Blaney trying to pull off the undercut here at Richmond. The undercut has been lethal all day, but did they come too soon is the question. But I don't know. Here comes Larson, Cendric, Harrison Burton, more guys. And I think now green flag pit stops have begun, and now Logano's in the pit from the lead. I think that undercut might have been crucial there for Ryan Blaney to help give him a bit more cushion over Martin Truex Jr. Oh, and Kevin Harvick might have had a loose wheel, guys. Kevin Harvick, not a loose wheel. He might have had a tire violate. The tire might have got away on that 4-car. Not quite sure. That one of the tires on the 4-car bounced a little far away from that pit stall. We'll have to see if that's considered within the window of reason by NASCAR. But yeah, now everybody's into pit except Hamlin, Bell, Truex. So those guys that pitted already, those Toyotas, it looks like they're staying out and they're splitting the stage in half. Yeah, there's a fire on that 14 car coming out of the spokes on the right side. And it looks like it's going to go away there. I don't know what that was from. Maybe just some rubber buildup on that 14. Now some fire coming out of the spokes on that 14 car. Probably just some rubber buildup in that area that was able to ignite. But yeah, now it looks like those 4 Toyotas, Hamlin, Bell, Truex, and Wallace, all staying out. Everybody else is in a pit, though. And the big risk for everybody else is, right now, they have fresh tires, but they're stuck one lap down. So if the caution were to come out, now they would be trapped big time. But now it's Logano who would be your leader. Harvick, Buescher, Elliott, Almirola, Briscoe. That's where it's cycled out right now. Oh, and it looks like Ty Dillon's got a pit road penalty. That is a tough break for that team. They are having probably their best run of the season going for them until then. And now Logano's going to be able to unlap himself going around Hamlin. And Bubba Wallace is also into pit. So it looks like Bubba Wallace is going to bail on this strategy with the other Toyotas. Harvick also unlapping himself. And Harvick is right on the tail of Joey Logano, which is really the eventual battle for the lead once these other Toyotas all come into pit. But Hamlin only has a 3-second lead over Bell right now, so if this strategy proves to be the right one, is Bell able to catch Hamlin? I mean, that's the thing. We saw this in the spring. So many strategies going on at once. You got to keep track of almost 2 battles for the lead until you figure out which strategy is going to be the one that comes out on top. Now Buescher unlapping himself. That'll put 6 cars on the lead lap. The next car 1 lap down is Chase Elliott. And now it looks like, is that Cole Custer who's going to bring it to pit road? Todd Gilliland as well into pit. Appreciate everybody tuning in, though, guys. Closing in on the finish of this race. Hamlin, Bell, Truex, your top 3 right now, but those Toyotas still on a different strategy than everybody else. Once that strategy cycles out, it'll be Logano, Harvick, and Buescher, your top 3. But Harvick's reeling in Logano right now. And could Harvick go back to back? And it looks like Denny Hamlin's coming in. Somebody's coming in to pit this time. It might be Denny Hamlin, but I feel like this would just put them. I really don't like this strategy call from Hamlin here. I feel like you should have just been on the same call as everybody else. I don't understand. I don't think that staying out an extra 10 laps really gives you much of a benefit there. Yeah, all 3 Gibbs cars are going to pit now, so that'll cycle Logano back to the lead. Then it'll be behind him Harvick and Buescher, but we'll see where these Gibbs cars cycle out. They'll be pretty far behind the leader, I think. I really don't understand this strategy call from these 3 Toyotas, to be honest. But we got 120 people watching right now almost. I appreciate it, guys. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe. Up to 2042, guys. Appreciate it. We're 8 subscribers from our goal. We're trying to get to 2050 by the end of the day. Appreciate it. So now it's Logano out front, and he's actually grown his lead over Kevin Harvick quite a bit. Now it's, I'd say, over a second. But Buescher's also kind of entering this battle amongst your top 3. And oh, Briscoe has got an issue, and that's the second SHR car with an issue. And there were fire in the spokes, coming out the spokes on that pit stop we saw, and it looks like that's proved to be more terminal, and that's a tough break. Oh, and there's a big fire inside that. There's a fire inside of the cabin of that 14 car. Still has the window net up, but is this a similar issue to what we saw with Chris Buescher at the road course? We saw Chris Buescher have the wall of the car basically catch on fire with some of the foam inside, and I think we might be seeing the same issue for Chase Briscoe. Now, there's no caution for this. He's able to get to pit road, but yeah, smoke coming out of that 14 car. They've got the leaf blower in there blowing all the smoke out. They've put out the fire, and it looks like they're going to be getting Briscoe back out on track. So it looks like that 14 car is going to be okay, but he's going to lose at least a couple laps. That's tough for Briscoe. He was running top 5 before that, and now he's going to be at least 2-3 laps down. Tough break for that 14 team. The second SHR car, though, to have some sort of mechanical gremlin today. Also, those Toyotas, they cycled out now. Hamlin's in 7th, 9 seconds behind your leader. Bell's in 10th, 12 seconds back. Truex is in 11th, 15 seconds back. So I don't know if I'm liking that strategy call by the Toyotas, guys. I feel like it's just not going to quite work out for them. I feel like, it's not going to give them the benefit as if they just stayed on strategy with everybody else. Hey, we got a couple more subscribers, guys. 6 subscribers away from our goal. Appreciate it if we can get there. Appreciate everybody tuning in, though, guys. We got 115 people watching right now. Could we get up to 75 likes? I'd appreciate it. Yeah, there is commercial breaks. There's a commercial break right now. But Logano's still trying to hold on to this lead he has over Kevin Harvick. It's about 5 or 6 cars. It's about 10 car lengths, actually, and it's a 1-second lead. And Buescher's also about 8/10 back from Harvick, and Elliott's a second back from Buescher. And then you have Hamlin, who's worked his way up to 6th place, and he's 8 seconds behind your leader. But then the battle between Ryan Blaney and Martin Truex Jr. Blaney's in 8th place, Truex in 11th. There's 4 seconds on track separating them, so Truex needs to make up 4 seconds and quite a few spots to really make a dent into the lead that Blaney has gained on him during this race. Aaron, I believe Alex Bowman has not pitted yet. He has not pitted yet. He's trying to pull a long-run strategy, I think. No, he has pitted. He has pitted. I take that back. Bowman has pitted, and he's 1 lap down in 17th, I think. Yeah, Tony, the car was on fire. The door of the car, so basically in these cars, there's a foam in the door panel, and we've seen it already. That's the second time this year. Sometimes the foam will catch on fire, and so they're able to get a fire extinguisher in the car and put it out on pit road. And I mean, I'm talking like a full-blown fire, like smoke and everything everywhere. But they're able to put out the fire, and he was able to get back out on track and only lost 2 laps. So, I mean, yeah, I don't really understand how it works, but I mean, it's not a mechanical fire. It's not. There's not a mechanical part that, breaks or anything. So, he's able to go back out there and run just like he was running before. And the only reason he has to come in and pit is because, smoke starts to get in the cockpit. So, like, you can't see. You just also don't want to make sure it gets any worse. Yeah, appreciate everybody tuning in. Hey, we're up to 2047, only 3 subscribers away from the goal, guys. I appreciate it. Also, thanks to Paul Tate for just subscribing, as well as Matthew's Crazy NASCAR. Appreciate it. And Janice Ellis. Some guys, sorry, I missed some of you guys in there. Doesn't give me notifications for everybody who subscribes. Not quite sure why, but either way, it's Logano out front over Harvick. And Logano has a good short run car, but on the long run, Harvick's kind of reeling in the 22. The gap's down to half a second. Harvick's closing in. Also, Christopher Bell's gotten by Kyle Larson for 9th place. Also, Hamlin's slowly gaining on these leaders. He was 9 seconds back once everything cycled out. Now he's down only 6 seconds back, so he's made up 3 seconds so far. Also, the gap on the cut line is currently 32 points between Ryan Blaney and Martin Truex Jr. 32 points. So Truex is in 11th, Blaney's in 8th. 32 points. The gap, when they came into today, it was a 19-point gap, and Blaney has gained 13 points. And meanwhile, at the front, though, Harvick has caught Logano, and he is on the bumper of that 22. He's just got to find a way by. He's maybe got to hope for a lapped car to come up that he can use as a pick. 81 laps to go. Opportunities are running out. Harvick's running a bit of a higher line than Logano through turns 1 and 2, and now we'll see what he does in turns 3 and 4. Once again, just going to run about 1 groove higher up the racetrack than the 22. Try and get some clean air on that nose, and he's right on the bumper of that 22 as they go into turn 1 this time. Logano's going to go really low, get really defensive. And the thing is Harvick can roll the high side, but it's just going to be hard to get the outside corner panel of that 22. Logano's not going to just let him have it. So Harvick's going to need to find some. He's going to hope he's going to find some lap traffic up ahead of him that he can almost use as a pick, or just find some way to catch the 22 in a weak moment to get by him. But just behind these guys is Chris Buescher in 3rd place, who's having a great run today. Both the RFK cars have had quite a good amount of pace. Keselowski was out front for quite a bit early, and right now Keselowski's running in 15th place, the last car on the lead lap. Also, if these top two keep battling, that will allow Chris Buescher to close in on him. And Harvick is once again just on the bumper of the 22 going into turns 1 and 2. But because he has to run a different line, it kind of slows him down just a bit. And he just can't get there. He cannot get to the outside corner panel of Logano right now. And that's really killing him right now. Also, Briscoe, after that fire, he's gone back out on track. He's in 27th, 2 laps down. Also, appreciate everybody tuning in, guys. We got 100 people or so watching right now. Paul Tate. Oh, greetings from Cape Town, South Africa. Wow, you might be the first one from South Africa, Paul, to subscribe. Appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in from all the way out there. And Harvick's trying to find a way to the outside of Logano still, but just can't find that window. Meanwhile, Chase Elliott and Denny Hamlin battling for 4th place. Hamlin's gotten by Almirola, and now he's trying to find a way by the 9 of Chase Elliott. He's on the inside of Elliott as they go into turn 3, but ahead of him, they've got the lapped car of Todd Gilliland that's in front of these guys, and it's going to check up Denny Hamlin. How is Denny Hamlin going to negotiate the slower 38 car? He's going to have to back out of it, and that's going to hurt Hamlin's shot right there pulling off that pass. The thing is Hamlin's got fresh tires right now, but he's 5 seconds behind the leaders. If he can get by Elliott, he's got kind of clear sailing for quite a bit before he catches Chris Buescher, the next car on the lead lap, who's going to have to battle. Meanwhile, these top two keep battling, and like I said, as they battle, it's going to allow Chris Buescher to catch up to him, and Chris Buescher has gone from 2 seconds back to only a second back off these leaders. We could have a 3-way battle for the lead here in just a moment. Only less than 75 laps to go. Logano's just trying to hang on. Logano's led the most laps today, but could Kevin Harvick go back-to-back? Joey Logano's led 216 laps so far today, over half this race. Harvick's yet to lead a lap today, but he is right now trailing right in the foot tracks of Logano. And Hamlin's to the outside of Elliott as they go down the back straightaway, and Hamlin is up to 4th place. Elliott's back to 5th. Now Hamlin will set his eyes on Chris Buescher. Hamlin's 5 seconds off the leader. We'll have to see what lap time he can make now that he's not battling a lead lap car. Also, Bell's made up some ground. He's gotten by Blaney and Kyle Busch, and Truex has gotten by Kyle Larson, and now Truex is right behind Ryan Blaney. So the gap on that cut line has dropped. It has dropped now. Truex has gained 2 points on the cut line, and if he can get by Blaney, he'll gain 2 more. These Toyotas are coming on strong late in the going. Harvick trying to find a way by Logano. Coming to 70 to go this time by. I know, Eric, no bots yet today. That's a good thing. Keith, hi from San Diego. You just subbed. Harvick is teaching Logano how to race proper. Yeah. I don't know. I just hope Logano doesn't, as soon as Harvick passes Logano doesn't just door him or something. But thanks for tuning in all the way over on the West Coast. I'm over here on the East Coast today. Oh, Harvick to the outside of Logano. Harvick, just not quite able to get there. He had a good run on him that time off of turn 4. I think Harvick sees Buescher closing in on him, and he does not want to have to battle the 22 and the 17, so he knows it's time to push. And also, Truex has gotten by Ryan Blaney for 9th place. And Harvick's going to get to the inside of Logano down the front straightaway. Harvick's got a shot at Logano. Harvick to the inside of Logano in turn 1. Harvick's going to try to get the inside of Logano. He's going to have to pull this pass off quick, though. There's a lapped car in the low line ahead of these guys. Corey LaJoie. He's not able to get it done in turn 1 and 2, but he's going to try again in turns 3 and 4. Logano's got that high side, so he has the runoff corner exit. But that 22 car, it's a lot under throttle. It's just a lot more. It does not have the traction. Paul GB, you're rooting for Martin. Yeah, Martin's making up ground late in the going here. And Harvick's going to get to the outside of Logano down the back straightaway. And as these guys battle, Buescher's gaining more ground on him. But Harvick to the outside of Logano off of turn 4. He might be able to get it done this time. Just behind him is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. on fresh tires. He's going to make it 3 wide for a moment. Logano's going to tuck into second place. Harvick to the lead. How about that? Kevin Harvick to the lead. Happy Harvick now out front. The closer gets the lead for the first time with 66 to go. Kevin Harvick is your leader at Richmond. How about that? Kevin Harvick slowly works his way forward all day, and now here he is out front. I'm gonna have to go through after this race is over and find all the moments where I was like, I'm telling you, Harvick, he's closing in. He's closing in. They call him the closer for the reason. I mean, man. Oh, I'm gonna have to find that moment where I said that. But I mean, I've made at least 10 comments early on in the day about Kevin Harvick. I mean, he's slowly working his way forward. Here he is. That's how he races. And that's what makes that team so strong. They adjust on the car as the day goes on, and they make up progress as the day goes on. Meanwhile, Truex is trying to get by Kyle Busch on the low side off turn 4 to make up some more spots on that cut line, and he's got the advantage at the stripe, but Kyle Busch is going to have the run off the high side as they go into turn 1. Appreciate everybody tuning in. We got 120 people watching right now, almost 70 likes. I appreciate it. Also, make sure you drop a like and subscribe. We're up to 2049, guys. So we're one subscriber away from 2050. Our goal for the day was 2050. It's appreciate it if you drop a like and subscribe. We've already gotten like 30 new subscribers today. I appreciate it. We hit 2,000 subscribers last Sunday. Our goal is 3,000 by the end of the NASCAR season. That's kind of like a stretch goal, but let's see if we can make it happen. Meanwhile, now Buescher is catching Joey Logano. So the battle for second place is about to be heating up, and Harvick, though, is already driving away. Buescher's going to have to make quick work of Logano, which it looks like he's going to do. They're in the middle of a lapped car. Corey LaJoie's getting in the way here for Chris Buescher. Yeah, Chris Buescher's going to have to make quick work of Joey Logano if he wants to try and go and chase down Kevin Harvick. Meanwhile, behind these guys, Denny Hamlin has caught this battle for second place. Denny Hamlin only 2.5 seconds behind your leader, Kevin Harvick. And the final pit stop of the day for most of these guys is going to be in the next 10 laps. With about 50 to go, you're probably going to see most of these guys making their final stops of the day. You might see some guys try the undercut. And as I say that, Chris Buescher's into pit. Chris Buescher's into pit with 60 to go. So Chris Buescher trying the undercut. We'll see how this works out for him. He's going to have worse tires on the long run, but he'll be able to make up some ground and track position early on. We'll see if this drags everybody else to pit road with him. I feel like Kevin Harvick and Logano are going to have to try and cover this strategy from Chris Buescher. Kevin Harvick's into pit from the lead, so Kevin Harvick is like, he covers the 17 car right away, but you can't have a penalty here late in the race. You can't afford a penalty. The last pit stop of the day. This is the time for these pit crews to shine. And it looks like we're going to see the Toyotas try to run long on this run once again since they pitted late on the last run. So we'll see how this works out for them. Ball, what do professional commentators do during commercial breaks? I don't know, like grab a bite to eat, go to the bathroom, go over some stats like they might want to mention during the next stretch of live TV. Get a drink. But anyways, it looks like everybody's having pretty smooth pit stops so far. We'll see where everything cycles out. Kyle Busch is into pit now. And Harvick, it looks like, is able to stay ahead of Chris Buescher. Chris Buescher, though, is going to pass Joey Logano. So Harvick stays ahead of Buescher, but Buescher's able to get ahead of Logano. Your top 6, though, still are yet to make their pit stop. Hamlin, Bell, Truex, Blaney, Larson, and Wallace. Now here comes Bubba Wallace in to make his pit stop. .55 to go right now. Hamlin leads over Bell by 2 seconds. Now, you could see a strategy call from Denny Hamlin here. They probably can make it to the end of the race on this set of tires. Now, I don't think they're going to do that, but they're just a lap ahead of Kevin Harvick. No, they're going to have to pit. There's no way they can make it all the way to the end of the race on this set of tires. Well, now your top 5 still have to make their last pit stop of the day, and Kevin Harvick is back on the lead lap, and he has quite a good gap over Buescher. Now, are we going to see Hamlin try to run it all the way to the end on this set of tires? Because here's the thing is, Hamlin only has 1 set of tires left, so if they come in and pit here, well then, if there's a late caution, they will have no tires to put on their car. And now Buescher's going to come in and lap himself, going around Denny Hamlin. We'll have to see how far he is behind Kevin Harvick. It looks like the gap's probably going to be about 2 or 3 seconds. And then, but Buescher has about 2 seconds back over Logano. So Buescher's able to gain 2 seconds on Logano, but the gap between him and Harvick stayed just about the same. Can Buescher, though, go and chase down Kevin Harvick with 53 laps to go? That's the battle to watch. Here comes in Kyle Larson to pit from 5th place. He's making his final stop of the day. And now Logano's going to unlap himself. Appreciate everybody tuning in, guys. Got 125 people watching right now. Make sure you take a moment, drop a like, and subscribe. And whoa, we got the goal for today, guys. I appreciate it. 2053. I was like, goals 2050. 2053, guys. You know what? If you want to keep subscribing, go right ahead. We're trying to get to 3,000 subscribers by the end of the year, or the end of the regular season, or the end of the season for NASCAR. Gotten about 30 new subscribers today. Yeah, that's the other question, though. Are we going to get another caution today? That could be, because that'll just change everything. We'll have to see, though, the battle between Truex and Blaney. How will it cycle out? Truex came into pit road just ahead of Ryan Blaney. Blaney came about a lap or 2 earlier. Blaney scored, I believe, 11 stage points to Truex's 1. So Truex needs to make up some spots here in this final stage and beat Ryan Blaney to stop some of the bleeding. So the gap from Harvick to Buescher is only about a second right now. So Buescher has made up some ground on Kevin Harvick the last couple laps. We'll compare some lap times. Last time by Chris Buescher and Kevin Harvick. Last time by Kevin Harvick was a bit faster than Chris Buescher. But now here comes in Denny Hamlin to pit from the lead. We'll have to see where he cycles out. Bell also into pit. So everybody has made their final pit stops of the day. Keith, you think we're going to get 2 more cautions? I don't know. I think it's going to be green to the finish. I think cautions would spice things up, but I think the way it's been today, I think it's going to be green to the finish. Oh, an issue on Hamlin's car. Issue on the left front. That's a 13.5-second pit stop. Hamlin loses probably about 4 seconds on that pit stop. That is big for Hamlin. That's pretty much going to take him out of contention from winning this race. He's going to need a major drive to be able to catch back up to these leaders. Yeah, he's going to cycle out about 15 seconds behind Kevin Harvick. So, yeah, that is a big deal there. Also, Truex is going to cycle out into 10th place, and Ryan Blaney is going to cycle out. Where is Ryan Blaney right now? I'm looking for the 12. Blaney is in 12th, so 2 spots behind Truex. And he's getting hounded by Bubba Wallace. But now the gap from Harvick to Buescher is less than a second, and Chris Buescher is reeling in Kevin Harvick. Now, who wins, Kevin Harvick or Chris Buescher, guys? Can Chris Buescher reel him in and get his first win of the season? RFK's first win of the season. Who wins, Harvick or Buescher? Or how about this, someone else? There we go. There's the poll for the chat. Harvick, Buescher, or somebody else. Who's going to be able to pull it off here at Richmond? Logano's faded back to 3rd place. He's now 4 seconds off our leaders. And Chase Elliott has just continued to slowly work his way forward. He's up to 4th place, and he's going to be reeling in Joey Logano. Chase Elliott could be eyeing up a 3rd place finish today, after what feels like we've hardly said his name at all. Darren Pukek. Busch is going to win. I'm talking about Chris Buescher. Or I don't know, Kyle Busch back in 7th place. I don't know. I feel like Kyle Busch is a bit too far back. He's going to need a caution. Oh, and Harvick has a moment off of turn 4. Buescher's caught to Kevin Harvick. Buescher is on the outside of Kevin Harvick as they go through turn 1 and 2. Chris Buescher is there. Chris Buescher is there, but he's going to have a lapped car on his outside that could be worked as a pick. Oh, and Kevin Harvick's going to try and squeeze Chris Buescher down the back straightaway. As they go into turns 3 and 4. Oh, the 47's going to get in the way of Chris Buescher there. Oh, that's going to hurt Buescher's shot. Harvick's going to be able to hold on to it for now, but Chris Buescher is there, ladies and gents. Oh, boy. Chris Buescher's there, and Kevin Harvick, he's got to hold off. Chris Buescher now from the pride of Prosper, Texas, is trying to catch the closer, Kevin Harvick. I thought once Kevin Harvick got the lead, the deal was sealed, but Chris Buescher has proven me wrong. He has taken the fight to the 4 car as we got 39 laps to go. Appreciate it if you guys take a moment to subscribe if you haven't already. We'll be live again next weekend for the Watkins Glen race on Saturday, but I will be at Watkins Glen on Sunday, so no Sunday race. But we'll be live for everything at Daytona. Harvick able to put a bit more breathing room between him and the 17 last time by. Man, Harvick's able to put bit more breathing room between him and the 17 for now. Harvick doesn't have much lap traffic ahead of him, so he can run some qualifying laps right now to try and gap the 17. The gap's now up to half a second, so it looks like that might have been Chris Buescher's last shot. Oh, boy. Right now, though, the gap from Blaney to Truex, 28 points. Truex is up to 9th place now. The gap's 27 points. But Truex is the next car up the road from Truex is Kyle Busch, 5 seconds up the road. So it doesn't look like there's much more positions for Truex to make up unless we get a caution. Only 13 cars on the lead lap right now. The first car 1 lap down, Kyle Larson, but he's got fresh tires and will probably unlap himself. Oh boy, ladies and gents. Coming to 35 to go next time by. Kevin Harvick holding on for now. Also, Chase Elliott has caught Joey Logano for 3rd place. Chase Elliott really having a great drive today, like I've said, has just worked his way up from 23rd place, slowly moved his way forward. And now here he is going for 3rd place on the inside of Joey Logano as they come off a turn 4. Elliott to the inside of Logano, down the front straightaway. It's a drag race. The 9's got the inside. The 22 is going to get pinched in by the lapped car, the 15. And Elliott is up to 3rd place. Logano's back to 4th. And then Eric Almirola rounds out your top 5. Behind Almirola is Bell, who's had a great recovery run after that penalty earlier. Then Hamlin has worked his way up to 7th place. So Hamlin has made up 4 seconds on your leaders, but he's got to make up 10 more. So it's just not going to be possible. That penalty is really going to kill Denny Hamlin's shot today. Ball GB, when there's 10 laps to go, Hamlin will cause a caution. I don't know. It's going to be tough. I think Kevin Harvick's got this in the bag unless he really gets held up by some lap traffic. Chris Buescher had a shot at him, but Harvick was able to just hold on. Well, Harvick's looking to go back-to-back after not winning a single race for almost 2 years. Is Kevin Harvick heating up right before the playoffs? Because if Kevin Harvick goes into the playoffs on a hot streak, I think it's going to be tough to beat him. Right now, 50% of you guys say Harvick's going to win, a quarter say Buescher, and a quarter say somebody else, a wild card. Maybe you guys think there'll be a caution or something that'll mix everything up. Or maybe you're just hoping we get a caution. Harvick's putting Justin Haley another lap down. Now, Buescher, he just has to stay close enough to Harvick to where if Harvick makes a mistake, he's there to pounce. And right now, he's about a half a second back. He's got to stay within a second of Harvick to keep the pressure on him. Yeah, if Harvick wins today, this will be his 60th career win. And now Harvick catching up to the last car on the lead lap, which is Bubba Wallace. Bubba Wallace is not just going to let him Bubba Wallace is going to fight to stay on this lead lap, and that could hold up Harvick again, and that might allow Buescher to catch back up to him. Yeah, there you see Chris Buescher coming off turn 4, just about 5 car lengths or so behind Harvick as they go down the front straightaway. Staying in the rear view of the 4 car every lap. Just waiting for him to make that mistake. The thing is Harvick is not the type of driver that makes mistakes. Yeah, Buescher actually, I think he's made last time by Buescher a hair faster. And now Denny Hamlin's going by Eric Almirola for 6th place. That slow pit stop is going to kill Hamlin. Right now, he's in 6th place, 8 seconds behind the leader. If he did not have that slow pit stop, he'd probably be in 3rd place right now, 3 seconds behind our leaders and making up that ground fast. I mean, that penalty, that mistake on pit road on the left front is going to kill Hamlin right now. He probably could have gone back-to-back here. But 27 to go here at Richmond. Harvick continues to lead, and he's just got Bubba Wallace ahead of him. I don't know if this Bubba Wallace, like I said, he's not going to let himself go a lap down here, or 25 to go. He's going to fight to stay on this lead lap. It's been hard to stay on the lead lap all day. Nobody's just going to let it go now. And even if Harvick's able to get by Bubba Wallace, just up the street from Bubba Wallace is Austin Cindric. But Harvick's able to get underneath the 23 as they go into turns 3 and 4. Bubba got checked up by the lapped car, Daniel Suarez. Oh, but Harvick and Bubba are going to make a bit of contact in the middle of 3 and 4. But Harvick just is going to be able to clear Bubba Wallace down the front straightaway. Will Bubba Wallace try and pass Harvick back? Nope, not this time. So that's going to allow Harvick to clear Bubba Wallace quicker than he probably would have originally anticipated. But the thing is, it's just up the road is the neon yellow car of Austin Cindric, the next car on the lead lap. So they're not done with lap traffic just yet. But right now, Elliott has worked his way up to 3rd place methodically, and I think if we get a caution, I think Elliott is one of the drivers to watch. He has just been slowly and patiently working his way up through the field. But yeah, if Harvick's able to put Austin Cindric a lap down, the next lead lap car is William Byron, but William Byron's about 4 seconds up the road, so they're probably not catching William Byron. And now Harvick having to work around the outside of Daniel Suarez. The other thing is Chris Buescher has to make quick work of Bubba Wallace and Daniel Suarez as well, so that way he can still be on the bumper of Kevin Harvick. And right now, he's not been able to make that happen. And now Hamlin's going by Joey Logano. And Hamlin's coming in a hurry. Now he's only 7 seconds behind our leaders. But the thing is, if Hamlin was 3 seconds, 4 seconds closer to the leaders, which is where he would be if he didn't make that mistake on pit road, or his pit crew didn't make that mistake on pit road, he would be there ready to pounce. Hamlin still has to go through one more. He still has to go through Bell and Elliott before he can even set his sights on the top 2. And Buescher is really getting held up by this lap traffic right now. He's over a second behind Harvick for the first time in quite a while. And if Buescher can't pick up the pace through this lap traffic, that might just seal the deal for Kevin Harvick. Appreciate it, Chuck. I don't know. Chase Elliott, Chase Elliott needs a caution to get this win, is all I'm saying, Chuck. He's too far back with too little time. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure you take a moment to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. On the road to 3,000 subscribers. Just hit 2,000 last Sunday. And now it looks like Harvick, with 20 to go, the gap is up to over a second in just about a second and a half. So I think it's just about over. Hamlin's too far back to make up the ground, albeit Hamlin's making up almost a half a second a lap. He's still just too far back. His tires are going to be killed by the time he catches Harvick anyways. So, yeah, I think Harvick might be able to go back-to-back, but are we going to get a caution here? Is somebody going to push the issue too much, take themselves down, or take somebody else out? Meanwhile, Bell is going to get by Chase Elliott for third place. Christopher Bell's having a great rebound drive after being 2 laps down in this race at one point. Greg Huggins, with 12 cars on the lead lap, a caution comes out, do the opposite of what the leader does. Yeah, that's the thing, is everybody who has tires is going to come down and get tires. I would say even the leader, I would come down and get tires, because fresh tires are going to be so powerful here. The thing is we have to get the caution first to even talk about that, really. But if the caution comes out, I'm getting tires no matter what, even if I'm leading the race. But Harvick continues to grow that lead over Chris Buescher. Bell's actually now kind of closing in on these top 2 because Christopher Bell shake things up. We'll keep track on the gap from 3rd to 1st. The gap last time by was 4.398. This time by, the gap is looking to be... I'll let you know when it updates. It's now, 3.882. So half a second last time by, Christopher Bell made up. We'll have to keep an eye on that. If he keeps up that pace, Bell can definitely catch these top 2. Aaron, your Alex Bowman update. Alex Bowman tried to pull some strategies to get back on the lead lap, but he is now in 20th, 3 laps down. So yeah, he has just been a non-factor all day. 14 to go. Now this time by, the gap's 3.542, so only 0.3 of a second last time by, but I mean, he might be able to get there. If he can pass Chris Buescher really quickly, he can probably get there. And also, Austin Cindric is going to be right in front of the leader in just a moment if Austin Cindric holds up Kevin Harvick. Also, yeah, will Kyle Busch help Martin Truex Jr.? Oh yeah, Truex is able to get by Kyle Busch, so I think the gap now is, well, it's actually still 27 points because Blaney got by Byron, but now it's 3.2 seconds the gap, so Bell picking up about 0.3 of a second, and at that rate, he would catch your leader with about 3 to go, so he's got to keep up that rate and be able to pass the Buescher smoothly. Elliott in 4th place will be under pressure from Denny Hamlin pretty soon. It looks like Denny Hamlin on those fresher tires is still charging. Appreciate everybody tuning in. We got 170 people watching right now. I appreciate it. 10 to go next time by. 10 to go. Can Harvick hang on? Bell continuing to close in on the leaders, picking up about 0.3 of a second. At this rate, he would be catching your leader with about 2 laps to go. That is if he's able to pass Buescher quickly. And also, if Austin Cindric backs up your leader at all, that would also make a difference. Keith, the difference between the 4 and the 2, I don't have that. Oh, but it says Austin Cindric has gone a lap down, so that means he was able to make quick work of the 2, so that definitely is important. Because if he was able to put the 2-car lap down that quickly, that's a big deal. Yeah, but Eric Almirola coming from 30th to 4th place. That's a pretty solid result today. Quite a few guys in this track, quite a few guys out front have come from farther back in the pack to get a solid result. Kyle Busch started in 29th. He's going to be able to finish 4th. And oh, there you have the bots, Eric. They finally showed up here late in the going. But appreciate everybody who's tuned in so far today. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Laps winding down here. And it looks like Bell is continuing this pace. The gap's down to almost 2 seconds. But Bell is going to have to go by. He's going to have to get by Buescher really quickly to be able to catch Harvick. Oh, goodness. It's going to be close. Bell can see Buescher right in front of him. And I just think Bell if it was 15 to go, I think Bell could get there. But since it's 7 to go, it's just going to be a bit too late for Christopher Bell. I think if Bell catches Harvick, it'll be a bump and run for sure. But I just don't think he's going to be able to get there. Yeah, it looks like with 6 to go, he might not be able to pass Buescher. It's going to be hard to pull off that pass. Yeah, it does not look like Bell's going to be able to make it happen. Harvick has really clean track in front of him. This is Harvick's race to lose. He's just hoping we don't get a caution here with 6 to go. He hopes Bell and Buescher don't get into it or something. And now with 5 to go, Bell's on the bumper of Chris Buescher for second place. He's going to have to get by Buescher in a hurry here. As they go into turn 1 and 2, Bell's going to try and thread the needle in the middle of 3 wide. Bell in between a lapped car and Chris Buescher. He's to the inside of Buescher down the back straightaway. And it looks like Bell might be able to clear Buescher here in just 1 lap. With 5 to go, he's going to try and pull off turn 4, and Bell's up to second place. He's 1.5 seconds back off the leader. He's going to need basically he's going to need a hard charge to get there with 4 laps, but either way, if he doesn't win, a great drive from Bell to come from over almost 2 laps down to a second place result. A great drive from Bell. But with 3 to go, the gap's 1.5 seconds, and he's going to get held up by the lapped car of the 2 there, it looks like quite a bit. 3 to go, it's just going to be too little too late for Christopher Bell. Meanwhile, Denny Hamlin's gotten by Chase Elliott for 4th place. And Truex has caught Eric Almirola for 7th. That could be a big spot he can make up in terms of the playoff battle between him and Blaney. With 3 to go, Harvick has the 42 and the 34, 2 lapped cars side by side ahead of him. That could help out the 20. 2 to go. The gap's down to just over 1 second. Oh, he's going to need a miracle lap here. And he needs the 4 to make a mistake. The 4 is a lapped car, though, to his outside down the back straightaway. That'll check him up a little bit. And, it's just going to be too little too late for Bell. Oh, man. With the white flag in the air, the gap is 0.7 of a second. If he had like 5 to go, Bell could get there. Oh, Harvick, though. I think Harvick should just be able to hang on. Is Bell? I don't know. Bell might be able to send it in. It's 0.5 second down the back straightaway. Oh, Bell's just too far back. Oh, my goodness. If we had 1 more lap, Bell would be there. 1 more lap, and Christopher Bell would win this race. But Kevin Harvick is going to win at Richmond and go back-to-back after a 65 after a 65 race winless streak for Kevin Harvick. He goes back to back. Oh man, Bell's right on his bumper letting him know he would have been there, but if there was 1 more lap, Christopher Bell would have won that race, I guarantee you. Bell was coming, and what a great drive from Bell though, to come from 8, or I think it was 9 seconds back after pit stops to catch your leader. Wow. But that's Kevin Harvick's 60th career win. How about that? And yeah, Tony, you called it from the beginning. Said Kevin Harvick was going to win. Appreciate it, guys. Everybody who tuned in. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed what you saw. Up to 80 likes, guys. We got almost 200 people watching. Make sure you drop a like if you haven't already. I heard you. I mentioned earlier. Wow, but shout out to Kevin Harvick, man. How about that? Matt Williams, room for Kevin Harvick. Hey, guys, how would you rate that race out of 10? I would say that was I'll say it was a 7 out. I'll say actually it was a 6.8. It was pretty good. I think if Bell would have caught him, it might have been a bit better, but it was a lot of really just long green flag runs, some good battles, but yeah, Keith congratulating Harvick on 60 career wins. 6.8 out of 10. Solid 7 from Tony. Appreciate everybody who tuned in, guys. And Harvick's going to be burning it down for the 2nd week in a row. He's getting back into practice here. But how about that? Kevin Harvick going on. Kevin Harvick going on a win streak going into the playoffs. I think if Kevin Harvick heats up before the playoffs, that is a dangerous man right there. I mean, people have been doubting Kevin Harvick for the last 2 years since he's been on this winless streak. But I mean, every time I've been like, Kevin Harvick has probably been the most impressive driver to me the last 2 years. He has been driving in the top 5, top 10 every week. He has just not been able to get the wins. Like, he's just come up just short. But I mean, he has been able to do this, pulling out these good results. And whereas his teammates right now, the next best SHR car, Harvick was first. Eric Almirola was 8th, so a good job for Eric Almirola. But one other car in the top 10. The other 2 guys, I guess, had some sort of issue, but that's another thing. The team has been disappointing these guys with bad race cars. I mean, Cole Custer 26th, and Chase Briscoe was 23rd. 7.5 from Keith, a 10 out of 10 from Eric, a 7 out of 10 from Michelle. Yeah, a solid day for Chase Elliott. Ends up with the top 5. But yeah, I'd give a shout out to Chris Buescher, almost pulling off the upset. Still a great result in 3rd. Almirola with a solid top 10. Truex is able to come out on today 27 points behind Blaney, but he loses 8 points to the cut line today. But honestly, after today, how today went for Truex, I'd feel like that'd almost be considered a win. Bubba Wallace's top 10 streak ends, but still a solid 13th place result for him. Ty Dillon's able to rebound it for 17th after that penalty. Still a good result for him. Outperforms his teammate, Eric Jones, I believe. Yeah, well, I forgot Eric Jones was the only car to DNF from this race after that earlier accident. But yeah, outperformed his teammate anyways, but I will later, Eric. I will later. Appreciate everybody tuning in, guys. Thanks, Matt Williams, for subscribing. Up to 2057, guys. I appreciate it. We've gotten 36 new subscribers today. I appreciate it. I know this probably has to be one of the least filled attrition races this year. But Richmond always produces this type of racing. There's just not that much bumping and banging for a short track. And so there just tends not to be a high rate of attrition. Whereas last weekend at Michigan, whew. Yeah, I don't know. I'd say this is a solid race. Not the best, though. Not the best. I much preferred last weekend's race, and I think Watkins Glen and I think Daytona will far outperform this one, but still a solid race. Still a solid race. Don't get me wrong. But we'll wrap it up here in just a moment, guys. Thanks to everybody who tuned in today. If you guys want to put in the chat your thoughts on this one, go right ahead. Keith, this type of racing is what NASCAR is looking for on this track. I do have to say, okay, I agree with you on that, Keith, and I also agree with something else is that I'll see you, Ball. Thanks for tuning in. I'd say another thing about this racetrack is, yeah, it's like this is one of the tracks where there's still a lot of strategy involved. I would say this and Pocono are really the 2 big strategy tracks. I'd say maybe, the road course is kind of, but this and Pocono are always like the 2 big strategy tracks. So a good strategy race here and there is always nice. Bell, if it was one more lap, literally, Bell would have caught him. And just like in the spring, those guys on the one-stop strategy, if the race was 5 laps shorter, they would have won. But this one, the guys that kind of went a bit longer, if this race was 1 lap longer, that strategy would have won. Also, guys, though, I have a quick story here based on this Richmond track. When I was down for the Martinsville race earlier this spring on the way back, I decided to stop at this track because I was like, it's just off the highway, why not? And we stopped by. We were just walking around a bit. And then one of the people working at the facility was like, do you want to go inside? And we were like, sure, but we didn't really know what that entailed. Well, anyways, We end up following this guy out in the pace car, the official Richmond Raceway pace car, and he took us out onto the racetrack, and we did a couple laps on the racetrack in our rental car behind him. That's just a cool story right there. Greg Huggins, love the commentary. Had you on the edge of your seat while you're drinking your beer, but you might have to check the show out and watch it if it streams the next day or so. Yeah, I'll be streaming next Saturday for the Xfinity Series race. Next Sunday I'll be at the race, so no stream. And then following that, I'll be streaming both the Xfinity and the Cup Daytona races. Yeah, appreciate everybody who tuned in. Keith, and then there's the Hamlin issue. What if, I know, that Hamlin issue, what if at the end of the race, Hamlin ends up finishing 3.8 seconds behind Kevin Harvick? Do you want to know how much time he lost on that pit stop? Probably 4 seconds, right about 4.1 seconds. If that pit stop does not have that mistake, Denny Hamlin probably is your race winner. Just Denny Hamlin's pit crew, they have to pick up the execution. I mean, you just can't afford to be making those mistakes. Appreciate the subscription, Larry Greer. Also, thanks, Cameron, Monster Jam fan. Up to 2050, up to 2059, guys. I appreciate it. We beat our goal by like 10, guys. I appreciate it. We're trying to get to 3,000 by the end of the regular season. That means like if we got like 10 more weekends, and then that means we'd be averaging like 100 subscribers a weekend. And what, this weekend we got like 40, 50. So I don't know. 3,000 is probably pretty impossible, but maybe if we have a couple of huge weekends like at Daytona or the regular season finale, we'll see. I know, yeah. Next weekend, though, you got the two Team Heiserberg cars with Daniel Kvyat and Loris Heisermans, and you got Kimi Räikkönen next weekend in the NASCAR Cup Series race. I know, yeah. Hopefully the snowball effect stays strong. Last Sunday, we got 70 new ones, and this Sunday, we got, like 40 new ones. So hopefully the snowball effect stays strong. Because it used to be I'd get like 40, not in a day, but in like a month. Keith Campbell, got more post-race to do. Great cast. You'll see you next week. See you, Keith. Tony, I think people just watch it regardless, and I feel like the other thing is with that is we would be appealing to like a different market. Like we'd be appealing to that market rather than my own, and it'd just kind of be like a fun, like one-off type thing. Ball, I don't know. I'm really interested to see how Kimi does in the Cup car next weekend at Watkins Glen. I'm really interested to see if like they announce that he'll do another race, because I feel like one race is really not enough. You know what I mean? It's not. You don't get enough experience. But he was doing some on-track testing just the other day at Virginia Raceway. Oh, yeah, and then you have Joey Hand. That'll be in the 15. So, yeah, a couple road course ringers next weekend at Watkins Glen. We'll have to see how they do. But they'll have to top Chase Elliott, the NASCAR king of Watkins Glen. Well, here we got a new poll up in the chat. Eric, you love Kimi? I don't know. I feel like Kimi's pretty controversial. We'll see. But here, yeah, we got a new poll up in the chat, guys. Yeah, we got a new poll up in the chat. Would you watch an IMSA stream? Oh, yeah, the Dinger will be in the 16 next weekend, and he's won at Watkins Glen in the past. So, yeah, now there are 10 drivers locked in. So it's Ryan Blaney who's 26 points over Martin Truex Jr. Yeah, Ryan Blaney has to keep that 26-point cushion over Martin Truex Jr. through Watkins Glen and Daytona. That's really going to be the battle to watch. Can Blaney hold on by 26 points over Martin Truex Jr.? I don't think either one of those guys are going to win a race. So I don't think either one's going to somehow lock their way in. And it's just, can either one make up that ground? Today, Truex lost 7 points. But I feel like, it's 26 points. That's an easy amount of ground to make up, especially at Daytona, where the stages can be pretty chaotic at the end. So a lot of people probably won't even look at going for stage points. So that'll be an opportunity to score quite a few stage points, probably. Ball, you'd watch an Insta stream if you could watch the actual race. Oh, I hear you. Yeah, no, we'd have to see. I obviously wouldn't be able to show the actual race, but it's really just possible, like, one-off. We'll see. We'll see, though. I'll keep you guys updated. It still wouldn't be for at least a month or so. No, but Martin is usually good on the road courses, Ball, and he's especially been good at Watkins Glen. But this year, Martin Truex Jr. and Toyota has been god-awful at all the road courses, and I mean horrendously bad. I mean, Martin Truex Jr. has hardly run inside the top 20 at any road course this season. So that's why I have no faith in him. And now I feel like Ryan Blaney maybe, but I just feel like Chase Elliott's almost going to be impossible to beat next weekend. But now all of a sudden Harvick goes from a guy possibly being out of the playoffs last week to now being like basically a second round lock at this point in the playoffs because he's got like 12 playoff points, 13 playoff points now. Well, Eric, maybe I do the Rolex 24, but that would be quite a ways away. But appreciate everybody who tuned in today. Over 3,000 viewers, guys. I appreciate it. I think our goal for next weekend will be able to get to 2,100 subscribers. Now that'd be pretty big a challenge since we're only doing the Xfinity Series stream. But that if we could get there, that'd be like a nice goal to get. But guys. And just like that, guys, I think we're going to end the stream there. If you want to put your final thoughts or questions in the chat, let me know. Well, you'd go to IndyCar, Ball. I don't know why you'd do that. I don't think you want to be like the second Jimmy Johnson or something. Yeah, no. I would probably do the Rolex 24 next year. Because, the Rolex 24 is honestly probably the most watched NASCAR, it's the most watched IMSA race by NASCAR fans because, I mean, it's at Daytona, and it's kind of like leading up into the Daytona 500, and there's always a couple NASCAR guys that race in it. I know every year I watch the Rolex 24, but I watch literally maybe like one or two other IMSA races all year. It's also because there's no other motorsports yet, and it's kind of like the Kickstarter to that year of motorsports. Oh, I don't know, Ball. Not if your name's Jimmy Johnson. I don't know. I'd love to see, though, if a couple of the NASCAR guys try to do the Indy 500. There's always been these rumors of Kyle Larson doing it. I wish Kyle Larson would do the Indy 500, but I don't think it's going to happen. The thing is, I don't think he wants to do it. But I think Jimmy could definitely maybe do the double duty in the Indy 500 and the Coke 600 as long as the scheduling permits it. Mall GB, how's NASCAR going to race in the dark rain at Indy Le Mans? I mean, not at Indy Le Mans, at Le Mans. Well, they're adjusting the car quite a bit. I mean, it's still probably going to look and sound like a NASCAR, but on the inside, it's going to be pretty different. I mean, yes, they're going to actually have headlights, actually have windshield wipers. They're going to have to adjust. I mean, NASCAR could race in the rain at Le Mans. They already have rain tires and all. They're able to race in the rain, but yeah, they're going to adjust it quite a bit so that it's adjusted more for the road course and also, having the durability of lasting the 24 hours. But yeah, we're going to end it here in just a moment, guys. Thanks for tuning in. But guys, we're going to stop it there. Thanks for tuning in. See you guys next weekend for the Glen. I'm out.